Christmas! I'm about to play the 24 worst Switch games ever! Based on Metacritic scores, I went from the 24th worst game to the very worst game. I shot and uploaded all these videos from last year, so I hope you'll bear with my bad acting and just enjoy as I play through these bad games and give you my commentary and maybe a couple songs along the way. So I hope you enjoy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Oh, sweet! A present! I wonder who this is from.
Dear Russ Vandy, you've been naughty this year. If you have any hope of getting presents, you'll need to atone for your misdeeds. To make up for it, you'll need to suffer through the worst Switch games imaginable. If you can complete this 24-day challenge, I'll move you from the naughty list and back to the good boy list. Ho 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 ho! Get bent, Santa.
Well, that was aggressive. Maybe the challenge is in this. Advent calendar? I don't know what an advent calendar is. It's a calendar where you receive a bunch of cheap chocolates every day. And maybe that's what this is. Well, okay, I guess day one. House Flipper? Is that the game where you renovate houses? Okay. House Flipper. I have heard about this game. This is the game where you buy, sell, and renovate houses, and it's on the Nintendo Switch. But I've never played it, so I think it's time that we check it out. Boop. This house looks terrible. Is this my house? Where's the grass? No wonder it's for sale. Who can afford this house? That sky is just a JPEG. This game exists on other consoles, and it looks way better on them. Like on the Steam Deck, for example. Look how much better this looks. The sky isn't just a sky.jpg, and there's actually grass in the front yard. The house textures are way better, and there's actually shadows. They really cut down the Switch version. But let's get flipping. The loading screen looks like it could have been made in MS Paint. The text is so blurry and just looks weird. What's this murder shack? Why is there blood on the windows? I wonder what kind of psycho murderer lives here. Moving around doesn't feel good. The camera just feels floaty. Gotta remove this garbage. Who puts garbage in front of the door? This looks even worse. This welcome mat looks like it was bought at Walmart. Thankfully, I can put it outside. Do I live here? These textures look horrible in low res. At least the frame rate feels pretty solid. Not that there's a lot happening on screen. Did I murder someone with this chainsaw? Let's put all the murder tools in the bathroom so we can wash off the blood in case the cops show up. It's hard to pick stuff up, especially using the Joy-Cons. It's hard to properly look at anything, too. I wonder if these are newspaper articles about my murder spree. Let's just get rid of those. Is this my laptop? The layout looks really bland and the font has been smushed together. For some reason, the browser buttons have a house icon. Oh wow, I actually have a lot of money. Why am I living in this rundown shack? I have more money in this game than I do in real life. Probably because I keep spending it on Switch games. And when you open up the mail app, the whole thing just looks super boring with nothing eye-catching. Your ex-boyfriend stole your radiator? You must have terrible taste in men. Especially if you're hiring me. Oh look, I unlocked a new tool. Now I can use a mop. Wonder how I'm gonna kill someone with that. This house doesn't look that bad. Oh wait, I spoke too soon. It looks like something exploded in here. Let's get rid of these boxes the ex-boyfriend left around. Oh gosh, what happened to the couch? Well, time to destroy the evidence. Can't leave my prints on anything. Some more blood in the sink? Wait, no, better off not to ask questions. I don't even know what this is, but apparently the texture has a weird line on it. I wonder if there's anything left in these cans. It's gotta be noon somewhere. Oh look, they got the same welcome mat I do. Guess they were on sale. I know just what to do with this. It's nature's problem now. Oh, they had terrible aim. The textures are so blurry though, I can't even tell what this is. Maybe that's for the best. Why am I spending so much time cleaning up this person's house when I could clean my own house? It's way worse. Aren't I supposed to be fixing a radiator? Let's look at the tablet here and buy one. Oh wow, that was fast. Thanks, Bezos. Holy crap, I got 780 bucks for that? Back home now. Oh good, now that I have this mop, I can get rid of the blood before the cops show up. Looks like I have even worse aim. Glad it's easy to clean things just by swatting it with a broom, just like in real life. There, now it looks less like a murderer's house and just someone who commits tax fraud. Let's grab another job. Why does everyone want radiators? Is this the great radiator shortage of 2022? This guy's kind of rude, but he's got a nice house. First things first, at least this isn't a style like the last place. Oh hey, I can jump by pressing Y. Let's jump on all the furniture. Glad this guy's not home. You know what? This gameplay is far from engaging. It basically breaks down to pointing at something and pressing A over and over again. That's not fun, that's a chore. If I wanted to do chores, I'd clean my own room. Okay, let's mount these rads and get out of here. And done. Oh hey, I got a skill point. I guess you can spend these points to get some perks. Fast hand, that's what my nickname was in karate class. Oh yeah. I don't remember if he asked me to put in a sink, but here I am now, so you're welcome. Nobody will be seated during the exciting hose mounting sequence. Perfect. A towel radiator? Never heard of one of those, but sure, let's go nuts. Again, these models are just kind of meh. And done. Home sweet. Oh wait, I forgot what this was like. This is getting stale, but let's do one more job. I guess the more jobs you take on, you'll unlock different types. Let's paint some walls. We haven't done that yet. Step 1 out of the way. Let's see, they want amaranth and gray for colors. Those sound boring. Let's do orange. Let's give them nice stripes. Masterful craftsmanship, if I do say so myself. Somehow I don't think they'll pay me for this though, so let's just take this TV with us as a bonus. Dang, a chest-high wall. My one weakness. How did they know? You know what? That's enough of this game. House Flipper is not the worst game, but it's definitely one of the worst games, with a score of 56 on Metacritic. If that's how bad 56 is, it's only gonna go downhill from here.
How did I get out here? Satan must have stranded me out here. How am I supposed to get off this island? Maybe I'll use that.
6.5 hours later.
Thank goodness that boat was there, or else I might have been stranded. But let's look at what we have in store for us on the second day of the Badvent calendar. Stranded deep. Yay!
Russ has been very naughty, and Santa called him out on this. He's forced to play bad Switch games every day until Christmas. If he can survive this task, Santa will change his mind. Can he make it through all of them, and in the end, what will he find?
Stranded Deep is a hardcore survival game made for the PC and ported over to the Nintendo Switch. Not really sure how well it's going to work for this console, but let's boot it up and see what we're in for. Okay, looking at the main menu, the water actually looks pretty good. Definitely running at a lower frame rate, but it at least looks watery. Lots of loading screen tips, which should prove useful for a game like this, though it's scrolling through them a little too fast for me to read. The initial load time is taking kinda long, but I'm assuming it's because it's generating the game world. Looks like I'm in a private jet. Nice, my character must be rich. Oh crap, what's happening? I knew I shouldn't have flown Delta. Excuse me, coming through. Is this news article about shark attacks? I hope that's not foreshadowing something. Oof. Oh good, I guess they blast threw me into a raft. That was lucky. Speaking of raft, what's the deal with this weird white outline around the textures? Definitely looks like something is glitching here. At least the water still looks nice. Might as well go for a little swim. No. Let me out. I guess we should head for that little island over there. Okay, so what now? X to pick up the paddle. Hold X to operate the raft. Oh gosh, what happened to my head? Gotta get to that island. Why can't I move? Am I stuck on these rocks? Thanks, game. Let's just try it and drag it off the rocks. Oh wait, no. Well, that can't be good. Well, I guess this works. Hopefully it just drifts over to the island all on its own. Well, this is taking too long. Farewell, Mr. Raff. Going to take my chances swimming. I guess this is my new home. Those plant shadows are kind of rough, and the shadows don't move smoothly. It's like they're on a slideshow. What does this game want me to do? Pick up 2 rocks and 2 sticks. Easy enough. That shadow draw distance is pretty short, and a lot of the sea stuff just sort of pops in as I run around. I hope that doesn't get too annoying. Hi there, birdie. Okay, I guess you can take off without flapping. That's pure talent right there. Excuse me, little crab dude, just gotta grab this stick. Okay, got this stuff, now what? Create an item pile. Okay, now remove the rocks from the item pile, and it's gone. What was the point of that? I just made something and destroyed it right away. Okay, so this is the crafting menu, I guess. It wants me to make a stone tool. Oh hey, look, I have a knife. Come here, crab, I'm gonna get you. With this pointed rock, I'm now the master of this island. Take that, trees. I'm like the world's worst lumberjack. An upgraded knife, and there's no stopping me now. And now it's telling me to check my watch. I guess you need to keep track of your thirst and hunger and stuff like other survival games. And that's kind of a clever way to go about it.
except there's an SPF meter. Do I need to find sunscreen somewhere on this island? Oh, look who came crawling back. Let's just put this here so I can get away again. Get back here, you little... Yeah, that is gross. What's with that shadow? I look like I'm some weird sort of alien. Behold, I have created fire. How long do you cook crab for? Got an axe now so I can continue to deforest my tiny island nation. And it's stuck in the bushes. Oh, I forgot about my food. Hope it's not burnt. Is that a swarm of bats? It's kind of terrifying. Home sweet home. Guess I'll take a quick nap. Wait, fire's out of fuel now? How do I add more fuel? It says I'm hungry and I want more crab meat. Guess I'll just eat it raw? Oh, no, he threw up. I don't have any more objectives on screen, so I don't even know what the game wants me to do anymore. What's the whole objective here? Guess I should just go check out this boat. I don't think that's how you spill tires. Oh yeah, I wonder what's in here. Vehicle parts? I guess you can build vehicles later. That's pretty cool. I don't think this boat will be going anywhere though. Everything looks pretty drab when it's raining. You know what? This is my crab friend now. I think we should take him with us. Let's just dump all the stuff here. Oh good, they seem immune to gravity. Wait a sec, I found a label maker? When did that happen? I know just what to do with this. Perfect. I'm starting to get kind of bored. You know what, Mr. Krabs? I think we've outgrown this island. I wonder if we can make it to that other island way over there. The underwater stuff actually looks pretty decent, but the frame rate sure seems to have taken quite a dive. Huh. Pun. We've almost made it, Mr. Krabs. Oh hey, a shipwreck. What do you mean I need to find water? I'm completely surrounded by water. There's literally water everywhere. This can be your new home, Mr. Krabs. Let's call it Crablandia. What is that? Is that one of your friends, Mr. Krabs? Nope, not a friend. Wow, this guy's pretty tough. I'm gonna die to a crab? He just kind of exploded. Oh no, there's more of them. This island sucks. I'm gonna take my chances in the ocean. Oh look, we found Nemo. Oh no, it's a snake. It's biting me! How long have I been swimming for? A shark! Oh, he bit me! It's me or you, Mr. Shark! And I'm dead. Guess it was me. Oh wow, I died of poisoning, dehydration, bleeding, and a shark bite. It would be shorter to list what I didn't die from. Well, let's hope I never get stranded on a desert island because I don't think I'm cut out for it. This game definitely suffers from low textures, choppy frame rates, and terrible lighting effects. The performance and visuals aren't that good on the Switch, and the controls take some time to get used to. It's not a great game on Switch, but it's nice to see a fully fledged survival game like this, especially on the Switch. Even though this isn't quite my type of game and I got bored pretty quickly. And judging by the 50% metacritic score, other players and critics didn't have much fun with it either. So, do you like survival games on the Switch? Let me know in the comments. Day 3 of the worst Switch games. I wonder what the bad vent calendar has in store for me today. Panty Party? Is that even legal? Okay. This might not be what you're thinking based on the title. Panty Party is a weird Japanese game where you play as a pair of sentient panties as you battle other sentient panties. Yeah, it's a little weird. Also, I hate saying the word panties, so if you hate that as well, then I'm sorry, please. But stay. It should be noted that before we start playing this game, that the eShop description says that there is no H word. So that means if you're watching this video, it should be able to stay monetized. Please, YouTube, I'm a nice guy. This looks weird booting it up next to Yoshi's Crafted World. Panty Party. Right away, that's a lot of panties. We have story mode, arcade, and both local and online multiplayer. Looking at the options menu, some of the options aren't centered vertically with the buttons. Let's hope that's not a sign of what comes next in regards to quality. Oh hey, there's DLC. Let's see what we can get. Just more random panties. And so obviously I bought them right away. Let's try arcade first. Apparently the Eureka panties have slash, beam, and boomerang. Whatever those are. What about the music? It's very weeby. Looks like a tournament bracket we have to work through. I'm actually impressed that it's running at 60 frames per second and is pretty smooth. Let me just lay the smack down on some of these clearly inferior underwear. The camera is extremely sensitive, especially with the Joy-Cons. Apparently we can fly, but we have a stamina bar, so we can't fly forever. Not sure what I'm supposed to do here aside from kill all these other underwear. Oof, I guess I died. Can underwear even die? Glad to see every once in a while we have some anime panties to cheer us on. Apparently we won. But oof, that was a really slow message to load in. let's check out story mode. I can't even imagine what kind of crazy story we're in for that features sentient panties fighting each other. Looks like there's a visual novel aspect to this game. It starts with the sentient Baka Panty that is looking for the warrior of love. Eureka is running late for school and runs into Baka Panties, who claims she is the warrior of love. And apparently now you can turn into panties, just like in real life. That was dumb. That texture loading in the distance is rough. It looks so blurry. I guess the first mission is just sort of a tutorial. We run down this road, jumping over obstacles and defeating these other panties. I still have no idea why panties can talk or move on their own, or why this whole panty war is even going on in the first place. Apparently, the unloved panty named Pansy wants to brainwash all humans and be forced to think that underwear are their only true love. If it wasn't obvious earlier in this video, this game was clearly made in Japan. So it's our job to kick butt and save the world. While the gameplay isn't bad, I wish there was a little more to it. It's just a pretty basic hack and slash, just with an absurd premise. Oh look, we unlocked new panties, and they look hecka comfy. I felt it, the passionate gaze of the warrior of love. Doesn't look like anyone proofread this. I guess no one wanted it on their resume. So now we can play as the Dot Panties, which has a different set of moves. This pair has punches instead of slashes, and the beam is like a machine gun. Instead of a boomerang, we have a hyper beam. Each attack has a stamina bar, which when it runs out, you'll have to use another attack until it recharges. I guess the real question is, does this game insinuate that all of our underwear are alive and sentient and have feelings? That's like Toy Story, but way more messed up. Some of the stuff that the panties say at the side are just weird. And as for the graphics, there are no shadows anywhere in this game. Not on any panties or even the scenery. Everything is just pretty flat looking, although the textures themselves aren't that bad. Particle effects for the attacks are decent, but nothing spectacular. Also, spending some time playing, the controls feel pretty good. I'm actually able to move the panties the way I want them to most of the time. As for the animations though, that's kind of a tough one. How do you critique how sentient panties are supposed to move? We can't forget about the multiplayer though. Looks like this has a local mode. I can't wait to pull this one out at my next gathering and say, who wants to play Panty Party? Let's look at the other panties that you can actually play as. We have the main character panties, Haruka, Rin, whoever they are. Then we have Pansy, Sailor Panty, Classic Bear Panty, Cool Kuma Panty, Tentacle Pansy, Meteor Panty, Balloon Panty, Master Panty, which has a weird duck face on it for some reason. That doesn't look very practical. Dots Panty, Magical Panty, Lace Panty, Limited Edition Striped Panty, which is certainly very different from regular striped panty, and Sports Panty. Have you ever said a word so much that it's lost all meaning? I feel that way with the word panties after explaining this game. As for multiplayer gameplay itself, it's pretty much a straight up 1v1 deathmatch. Not too much to see here. Overall, this game is pretty decent, but I wouldn't pay more than $5 for it. I did, but you shouldn't. But let's not kid ourselves here, the only reason that you're playing this game is for the memes. As Metacritic only rated it a 48. The idea of a game where you play as panties fighting other panties is just way too out there. Would you bust out Panty Party next time your friends come over to play a few matches? It's day 4 of us playing the worst Switch games, and today we have Totally Reliable Delivery Service. Well, that's not reliable. Totally Reliable Delivery Service is a game where you run around and deliver packages with these random ragdoll physics. So, let's check it out. Looks like there's no option for single player. I guess this game is online only? Another long loading screen. I wonder if it's just trying to find a lobby. Oh, you run around like you're drunk. Easy up there, little fella. Hold X to raise arms. I guess that'll help if someone tries to rob us. Let's just pick up the box. Wow, this guy's jacked. Wish I could just overhead lift a wooden box like that. Or I guess I can with these guns. Let's talk to this wizard. I need money for vehicles, it seems. Why don't these ghosts leave me alone? I guess I need to pick up a delivery, but these dumb ghosts won't stop knocking me over. This is actually really frustrating. Am I missing something here? Oh, okay, I need to pick up the delivery from the vending machine. And wow, that was a short delivery. I need to make $100 to get those cars so I can run over these dumb ghosts. These controls are not easy to get used to. I feel like a fish flopping around. The faster I deliver these, the more money I get. I have no idea why I have to connect to a server for this. I'm the only one here. And if you lose connection, the game boots you back to the main menu. Finally got $100. Let's buy the wizard's vehicles. Let's go smush some ghosts with this forklift. Oh, the ghost can just phase right through me. These ghosts are so annoying. What is the point of these? They only exist to make me angry. That was close. The trolley just destroyed my golf cart. He better have insurance. Let's try one of these events. And apparently I failed right away. Okay, I really have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Now I'm just falling to my death. Great. Let's just try another delivery. The packing peanuts go flying out if you move too fast. Apparently my guy doesn't know how to drive. Guess I have to deliver this the old-fashioned way. I sucked with the cars, so let's try a plane. There's noticeable popping in the distant terrain. Oops, crashed the plane. Hey, what happened to my hair? Apparently I crashed so hard I went bald. They've obviously gone for a more cartoony style with this game, so I won't judge the graphics too harshly as it's mostly an artistic choice. Hopefully. Let's try and put this package on the forklift. Whoever's driving that should be fired. Is that a cannon? I want to play around, but it's so hard with these dumb ghosts chasing me. Apparently you can just throw yourself around like a rag doll using B, which is my preferred mode of transportation so far. Okay, got the cannon to work. Am I going to land on the ferry? Perfect timing. But I guess I'm stuck here now. I definitely like this more than Panty Party, but it's still frustrating. Every time you fall in the water, it just brings you back to a random area. The ghost doesn't seem to be affecting me anymore. Maybe I lucked out and it glitched. Whoa, what just happened? I was so close and now I'm stuck to the roof. Still got my package delivered though. Some of the pop-in is horrible. The physics in this game are at least enjoyable to play with. I'm actually having a bit of fun. Oops. Stuck in the sand. The frame rate is suffering pretty bad over here. I didn't even notice before, you can customize your character. There are a fair amount of choices here. Let's go with the mullet. Some of the skin is clipping through my clothes though, and the textures on them look like garbage. Let's try local multiplayer. There's not a ton to do here, so we're just gonna mess around. Here, hold on, we'll go for a ride. What's happening with his legs? Hey, this looks like it might be faster. Wait, you're stuck? I can fix that. You're free! Get in! Wait, no, don't hold on to me. Let's try the plane instead. Air vehicles seem to be a lot more fun. I can't even tell which one of us is flying. I think we both have half the controls. And we crashed. How about helicopters? No! Don't leave without me! I think we have the hang of it now. Oh, what's on top of this mountain? Oh, a cool hang glider. Think we can crash into each other? Why don't I let go of the controls? But I think that's enough of that. So I don't really think this game is all that bad. It's rough around the edges and those ghosts are annoying and should be removed. But it's a decent game underneath all that, at least when you're playing with another person. And also if you have PS Plus Extra or Xbox Game Pass, you can play this game for free, so if you wanted to check it out, you can. But it's one of those games that I don't really think I'd spend that much time playing, or at least come back to. And that seems to be reflected on the Metacritic score, which was a whopping 42. I can definitely say I had more fun with this title than any of the other games I've played so far. Have you played Totally Reliable Delivery Service? And if so, how do you get rid of the ghosts? Anyways, I finally came back from Christmas shopping and I decided that Link's Awakening isn't actually worth... Oh my... Are you kidding me? Santa has that stupid calendar! Oh my... Oh, no! Day 5 of me being forced to play the worst Switch games. This thing just won't leave me alone. But let's get this over with so I can get on with my day. Nickelodeon kart racers, but I love Nickelodeon. Can it really be that bad? Nickelodeon kart racers. 1. There are 3 Nickelodeon kart racer games, not including Garfield Kart. The first game in this series is the lowest rated one, and the second and third one, while they aren't the best kart racers, they did learn some lessons from the first game. But today we're looking at the first game as it was rated lower than the other 2. But what made this first game so reputably bad? Let's find out. First, the main menu. We have single player, multiplayer, and the shop. The fonts are really ugly. Let's start with single player. We can choose between Grand Prix, Free Race, and Time Attack. Let's do the Free Race. Oh wow, there's actually a lot of fun looking Nickelodeon tracks. There's more than I expected, and there's a lot of SpongeBob. So let's go to the Glovey Gloves Festival of Lights, a Christmas themed one, and I think that's pretty fitting. The character models look pretty stiff. There's like no shading, but at least they're all pretty unique. SpongeBob has his boat, Sandy has a rocket, Tommy has a Reptar car, oh, and there's Reptar. It'd be fun if you had a Tommy car. Whoever made this character roster had it pretty easy, making 4 turtles and just changing their colors. It's almost like Nintendo with their 9 Koopalings. Let's pick Patrick. Looks like we have to watch him eat janky ice cream before the match. I could choose to change parts here if I had any, but I don't. This stage actually looks pretty decent. The lighting looks a lot better here than in the character selection screen. but now that we've loaded in carts, it's definitely lowered the frame rate. It's targeting 60, but definitely doesn't have a problem going under 30. Now that there's a lot less carts on the screen, it's running a bit smoother. This is your standard Mario Kart fare. You can drift with the shoulder buttons and launch projectiles you pick up at other players. As you run over the patches of slime, you build up your boost meter. And that's kind of neat. The animations are pretty good actually. The carts and the characters have a lot of personality to them. And from first impressions, this seems like a pretty decent kart racer, but a little floaty in the physics department. In terms of graphics, everything looks pretty good. The carts have crisp shadows and the stages look decent. Let's try Bikini Bottom and crank the speed to expert to see how it changes things up. Why does everyone eat when you select them? This stage seems to be running better. I don't seem to be experiencing any slowdown that I noticed before. I wonder if it's just on some tracks. This track looks great though. But what's really disappointing is that there's no voice acting for these characters. These are all cartoon characters, so this should be full of voice acting. Instead, we just have all these little silent speech bubbles when the characters get hit. Actually, the same thing happened in Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl when it released. I guess they didn't learn their lesson from this game. Eventually, they did add voice acting to the most recent title, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, but it's 2 titles too late. Actually, taking a second look at the character roster, it's pretty lackluster. Only 4 Nickelodeon series are represented here: SpongeBob, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, and Ninja Turtles. It would have been nice to have more variety. Fans of other series kinda got shafted in this one. And the lighting on some of these tracks are pretty impressive for a Switch game from all the way back in 2018, from a third-party developer, especially for one that's so critically panned as this one. I may just not be remembering properly, but I don't think any of this music is from any of the shows. Did they just write generic music for the games? I wonder if they ran into licensing issues. But the only reason you'd buy a game like this is for the licenses, so it really feels like you're not getting what you paid for. As for sound effects, the tire screech from drifting really gets annoying after a while. Let's give Grand Prix a look. It's really just a collection of theme tracks right after each other, but maybe there's something extra to it. After finishing the race, we leveled up and got to do a bonus track, which unlocked some random kart parts. That's actually kinda cool. Now let's check out the multiplayer. 2-player wasn't bad, it actually ran smoother than I expected, but this also had 4-player local multiplayer, and oh boy, it might be hard to see in this video, but there's a huge delay on making a selection on the character screen. But once in game, it actually runs pretty decently, though it's definitely taken a visual hit. It looks like a lot of the lighting and shadows are gone. There's just not much unique about this game. The whole time I was playing it, I just kinda wished I was playing Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing. While it's not terrible, I think if they improved the roster and added voice acting and all that stuff, it would have stood apart from the other Mario Kart clones. And that seems to be what critics thought too, as they gave it an average 41 on Metacritic. While this game now going on sale for about $9 on the eShop every once in a while, it's really not a bad purchase. But at the time it came out, you'd be better off spending your money on a game like Mario Kart.
Hello, neighbor.
What do you want?
I found this in my yard. Does this belong to you?
Nope, never seen it. What is this doing back in here? I thought I finally got rid of this. Fine, let's get this over with. Hello, neighbor. Oh, I get it. Hello Neighbor is kind of like a reverse escape room where instead of you trying to break out, you're trying to break in and your psycho neighbor is trying to catch you. So let's see if we can outsmart him. First thing I noticed was the company who published this game, Tiny Build. They worked on Totally Reliable Delivery Service as well, which was one of the previous horrible games. Good to know they published subpar games, at least on Switch. This game is made using Unreal Engine, which is notoriously bad on Nintendo Switch, and you can tell just by looking at the main menu, those are some chunky pixels. It looks lower than 720 even, and we're playing docked. Everything loaded in pretty slowly. Look at that pop-in. Though surprisingly, it looks like it's running at 60 frames per second. Let's just chase the ball down the street. The lighting actually isn't too bad. Did someone just get murdered in there? This guy looks pretty sus. That looks really low resolution. This has to be 540p or less. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I think I'm trying to find the key to open the basement. The atmospheric sounds aren't too bad though, but there's no music in the rest of the game. The music starts to pick up once he's close to you. Oh no, he spotted us. He just keeps throwing me back onto the street. What if I get hit by a car? Can we hide in the closet? Dang, he found me. He jumped out the window. This guy's a psycho. I just keep getting caught. What just happened? Am I dead now? This definitely doesn't look right. What's he doing with that car? All right, I think I need to look up a guide for this.
One eternity later.
Okay, apparently I'm supposed to stack stuff up to climb up here and on his roof, and then break the window, and then knock off the painting to get into the other room, and then grab this key. And how do I even use the key? Maybe you just throw it at it? This is so frustrating. How am I supposed to know how to do any of this? How do I open this lock? Oh, the L bumper. I haven't used that for anything else. How was I supposed to know it did that? And aiming at things is so hard with the Joy-Cons. This was definitely made for a mouse and keyboard in mind. Okay, so now I have the red key, but I have no idea what to do with it. Is it a key for this car? I keep throwing the key by accident. It's so difficult to pick it back up. I don't see anywhere to use it on the car. Oh, no, he saw me again. Let's just break all his windows. In fact, let's break everyone's windows with these keys. Okay, I'm bored now. You know what the problem is with this game? It's not even the graphics or the performance. It's the game itself. The puzzles are just so unintuitive. You'd spend hours trying to do everything you can think of just to hit a brick wall because you didn't know what order to do it in, or where that key you just found goes, or that painting falls off a wall to reveal a passage. And quite honestly, I just don't have enough patience to try to figure this stuff out. And it looked like neither did the reviewers either, as it got a 38 average on Metacritic. I think that this game was only popular because of YouTubers and Twitch streamers who streamed it and did videos on it. There may be a good game under here, but I just don't have enough patience to figure it out. But for now, I think it's a frustrating experience, especially stumbling over the Switch controls. Day 7 of playing bad Switch games. And you know what? I think it's a matter of perspective. Maybe today will be a really good game. Let's find out. Whoosh. Pixar! Pixar, a spin-off of the survival game Ark, where you collect resources and tame dinosaurs and other creatures. Except in this version, they've taken the concept and mixed it with a voxel-based game like Minecraft. And on paper, that sounds like it should be a hit, but let's find out ourselves. So you start off by creating a character. First thing I notice is that the cursor doesn't feel intuitive. Like when I reach the end of the hairstyles here, I can't just continue pressing right to keep going. I have to use right stick to scroll. And what about the color slider? Apparently you use the right stick as well, while you have it highlighted. Seems to me like it would make more sense to press A and then move it with the D-pad, or left stick like in pretty much any other slider you'll find in a console game. Glad to see that the character creator allows you to create some unique looking body shapes like you can in Ark. Look at this big head, big hand, big footed, pink haired caveman looking dude. Perfection. Oh no, I'm falling! Oh, it drops you in with balloons, Fortnite style. I thought I glitched out there for a second when I was loading in. I kind of like the art style here. Everything is clean and colorful. It's a step up from Minecraft's low resolution textures, but speaking of resolution, this looks like it's running at a pretty low one. The edges of those blocks and the shadows are very pixelated, though while on the topic of shadows, they are actually not that bad. My character and the other creatures have dynamic shadows, and the world shading looks good. I love the running animation. He looks so happy. In true Minecraft fashion, let's start by punching a tree. It just kind of disappears when you hit it, but I didn't have to take it apart piece by piece at least. Oh, and apparently we leveled up. This game has a character progression system with the same stats as Ark. With this third person view, there's no crosshair. It's pretty hard to tell which blocks I'm actually mining, which is annoying. I can see this being an issue in the future. I checked the controls and I don't see anything to let me change the view. I take it back. Apparently if you hold minus, you can get a wheel and you can turn it on first person. This might be a better way to play. If you press the left trigger, it opens up this scanner mode, which is handy for learning about the blocks and creatures. Oh, what's this? Some sort of portal? I'm in danger! I'm in danger! Stupid spiders. Oh, what's this? It's offering me a quest. Kill one Phiomia. Okay. Found one! Let's go turn in the quest and see what we get. Oh, need a chest. I got a bunch of Christmas decorations? How did this game know it was Christmas time? I wonder if the rewards change based on the season. Probably not, but that'd be cool. I keep stumbling over the controls here, especially in the menus. It just takes too many presses to get where you want to be. You can really tell this was designed for a mouse and keyboard. Let's try making a friend. Okay, unlike Ark, I don't need to knock him out and shove berries up his butt. If you've played Ark, you know what I mean. Convert to Pix blocks. What's that mean? Oh, hey, cool, it's like Pokemon. You can carry them around and throw them out when needed. It can be really hard to target a small creature using the joysticks, like this firefly. Cool, he rides around on your shoulder. I wonder if he lights up dark areas. It's cool to have little pets like this. What about this slime? Apparently it wants meat to tame. Some of the creatures are just too cute. I feel bad for killing them. It feels like there's a delay when you let go of the button to mine this dirt. So often you'll end up popping a block you didn't mean to pop, like this.
So I decided to try out the building system. It's not too bad. There's a lot of options. Maybe too many options. It takes forever to navigate these pages just to craft the different things. And unlocking engrams and recipes is pretty annoying. Minecraft had it right by just letting you make anything if you knew the right blocks to use. Here's my little house. Not too bad. I couldn't figure out how to finish the roof though. Only certain blocks will snap to other blocks. Let's head out and see what else there is. What is that? It's a werewolf! I didn't expect to see one of these in this game. Guess they added more creatures in this game than in Ark. Or at least different ones. I wonder if I can kill it! Wait, over 2000 HP? This is a bad idea. What's this thing? Nope, that's shooting me. A zombie? Yeah, that's right. Run away. I wonder if this is friendly. Nope, definitely not. Oh, puppy! And the puppy killed me. So I actually had fun with this game, but I feel like I barely scratched the surface. Performance can be pretty rough at times, and it likes to hitch during the menus and when I'm crafting items. The controls are just annoying, especially when scrolling through the menus. But it's not bad. I wonder why the reviews were so low for this game. Let's take a look. Nintendo Life gave it a 20, and by looking at other reviews, they mostly said that it felt like it was unfinished. I wonder if this game received a bunch of updates, and the reviewers didn't update their reviews, because this game is still getting an average of 38% on Metacritic. So what do I think about PixARK? Well, I definitely would recommend giving it a shot. I would just recommend giving it a shot on maybe another console if you have that option, or, PC. I don't think you'd even need a good PC to run this, but the controls on Switch just make an otherwise enjoyable game pretty cumbersome and unintuitive. But what do you think? Have you played PixARK? Date of the Nintendo Switch Advent Calendar. And you know what? For someone who's so jolly, Santa sure seems to get a lot of enjoyment of me suffering through these games. But let's do this. Balan Wonderworld! Balan Wonderworld is a Japanese-made 3D platformer along the lines of Spyro, and it's been known to suck. And apparently it's directed by the guy who helped make the first Sonic the Hedgehog game. With an industry veteran at the helm, what could possibly go wrong? So, let's check it out. Looks like we can't create a character, but we can pick one. Why do they all have such large hands? We're then treated to a pre-rendered cutscene of some breakdancing. Oh hey, our boy's rocking some Raycons. This game looks great, is what I'd say if it wasn't all pre-rendered cutscene so far. So I'm in this weird mansion with a spooky looking magician type character. I'm getting creepy vibes. Who invites minors to their house in the middle of nowhere with no supervision? That's pretty sus. No idea what's currently happening though. I don't know what these guys are on, but they're clearly tripping. So now we're into some actual gameplay. Looks like I have shadows, but everything just has those typical gray blobs, and the grass has some pretty noticeable pop-in. Am I walking on water? Looks like this might be some sort of hub world like Crash Bandicoot, where you walk over to these and select the stage. Loading into the level, the frame rate tanks as the stage builds in. The colors are nice and colorful, and the stage doesn't look bad. The textures don't look too bad either. It looks like I should be walking a lot faster than the characters moving. It feels oddly slow. I picked up this key, and then I was able to collect this gem, and apparently now I'm a tornado wolf. Guess I'm a furry now. Looks like I'm supposed to be collecting these statues to unlock more worlds to visit. Look how jittery the animation is on this dude here. It's pretty rough. The camera also feels like it's not quite sticking to me. The thing I can't get over though is how slow my character is moving. It's so slow. I keep missing this jump because of it, and the low frame rate isn't helping here. It seems like he's even slowing down during the jump animation. It's just weird. Who is this guy? He looks like trouble. If I've learned anything from anime, never trust anything with tentacles. Why are these guys dancing? Everyone seems to love dancing here. I don't though. Oh, looks like a new costume power-up. Is this a bunny? No, wait, a kangaroo. And he's got the Yoshi flutter when he jumps. I think we entered a bonus stage here. I guess we just have to do what it says on screen. This is classic filler content. There's nothing fun about this. It feels random and tedious. If there's some meaning to these levels, I have no idea what it is, and the game hasn't made it clear. Oh hey, the little guys following me did something. They broke this tree and turned it into a heart. Thanks. That seems to be the end of stage 1. Let's take a moment and talk about the controls here. It really feels like all I do in this game is walk and jump, and there's 8 buttons on the controller. And you jump with A, you jump with B, you jump with X and Y, and you jump with the back triggers. You just run and jump. When you're wearing a costume, it just automatically happens when you jump. All you can do is jump and run.
So back in the hub world, those gems you collect are actually food for the little things that follow you around. You can feed these to them here. There's a counter at the bottom which seems to go up randomly. I thought it would be related to how much I fed them, but it doesn't seem to go up with that. So I have no idea how this is supposed to work. Apparently we unlocked the base tower of Tim's. Not that I even care. Let's check out the next stage. There's no direction on what I'm supposed to do. I'm totally lost. I just don't know what my objective is. I just keep running around and unlocking these costumes without knowing what I'm supposed to do. The music's not bad at least, and the art direction is pretty cool. I like how the whole stage is kind of warping as I move around it. It's very trippy, but in a good way. Looks like the next costume is the spring plant thing. If you press the button, you can extend so you can reach higher gem things. Once you let go, you snap back up, so it's really like a delayed jump. Finally, the first costume that doesn't jump. The dragon shoots out those fireballs and breaks things. He can't even jump at all though, cause I guess that would require any of these other buttons to have an actual use. What's the point of having all these controls if you can only do one thing? And why is everyone always dancing? It's getting annoying. It's like they're making fun of me. And now I'm a pig who smashes things with its butt, just like real life. This game holds your hand way too much in some places. Like here, it's afraid you'll fall off, so it just fills the area around. Where's the challenge? Crap, thought I crashed there for a second. Kinda wish it did. Is this a boss fight? Just keep running up to him and jumping, cause again, every button just does the same thing. And there, we got heart number 2. What happens now? It's kinda cool that the stage just sort of tears itself apart. And we're finally treated to another cutscene. I really like these cutscenes, they're more entertaining than the actual game. I have no idea what's happening to this farmer though. He looks like he's about to get wrecked. I guess this must be the real boss fight. The last one must have been a mini-boss. He looks like he's right out of a cartoon. Little does he know who he's messing around with. How can he stand a chance against a kid who runs and jumps? This part looks pretty good though. But again, all I'm doing is running and jumping. I guess you could say the same thing about most Mario games, but those games are actually satisfying and fun, and have a premise to stick with. So kick the farmer's butt and turn him back to human. Oh no. Is he coming on to me? Oh gosh. Oh no. Don't start dancing. Is this supposed to be a reward? It's more like a punishment. No! It's so dumb. Please make it stop. Wait. I can make it stop by shutting off the game. Well, that certainly was a thing. And of all games, that certainly was, one of them. I really don't know what to say here. I think it was a good game on paper, but in the gameplay department and just the overall storytelling, it was truly lacking, and I have no idea what it was going for. I definitely don't see myself coming back to this. And neither do critics, who gave this score an average of 36 on Metacritic. Oh, and don't pay attention to the user reviews. It looks like it's been flooded with fake review bots giving it a 10 out of 10. This game is pretty bad, but what do you think about Balan Wonderworld? Would you let a creepy magician invite you into their house? No, wait. Don't answer that. 9 whole days of me playing bad Nintendo Switch games. You know what I could have accomplished in 9 days? Not a lot, but Fight of Gods! Fight of the Gods is a one-on-one fighting game where you fight as gods and other mythological creatures and religious figures. It's a pretty weird concept, but let's see how it plays. This game starts off with a disclaimer. That's always a good sign, right? This work of fiction was inspired by cultures and stories from around the world. The team has no intention of offending any persons, and the utmost respect was given during development. Did you hear that? So, no complaining in the comments. Pretty long loading times on this one, but at least the artwork is kinda cool. I'm getting some classic Soul Calibur vibes from the main menu screen. Let's check out the roster. Wow, this game has Jesus in it. That's pretty cool. Zeus, Greek god of the sky. Odin, Norse god of war. Buddha, the embodiment of enlightenment. Anubis, the ancient Egyptian god of the dead. Athena, the Greek goddess of war and wisdom. Mazu, the Chinese sea goddess. Guangong, the Taoist god of war. I hope I pronounced that right. Moses the prophet and his 10 commandments. Sif the Norse god associated with fertility and the earth. Coming all the way from the North Pole, our boy Santa Claus. Amaterasu, the Japanese goddess of the sun. And finally Freya, the Norse goddess of war and love. Apparently there are also a few fighters you can unlock by playing the game. And there's even a secret character you can unlock by entering a familiar cheat code that rhymes with tsunami. Kunami. This is a pretty diverse lineup, though it did get the game banned in Singapore and Malaysia due to its religious content. There are also little bio pages for each fighter too if you wanted to know more about them. It looks like we can unlock additional costumes by playing through arcade mode. We'll start with Santa. Looks like we're starting with the heavyweight Christmas showdown between Santa and Jesus. Each character gets a neat little animation intro. Jesus literally breaks off the cross. Santa attacks with a bunch of gifts from his sack and candy canes and cookies. Meanwhile, Jesus seems to be pummeling us with the broken parts of his cross. Did Santa just take a selfie with Jesus? I guess we'll just start with the controls. It's a pretty standard fighting game. If you've played Street Fighter, you know exactly what to expect. The movement and attacks feel a little clunky, though I didn't really expect a large amount of polish coming into this. I know this is the first match of the bracket, but it's an easy win, just by repeating one attack over and over again. Sorry, Jesus. It's not looking good. Each fighter has a special move you can perform when your bar is full. For Santa, he drops down his chimney and launches up and tries to hit the opponent, but you can miss. The graphics do look PS2 era, but I think that might be the style they were going for here. At least it runs smoothly on the Switch because of that. The environments are 3D, but you're locked to a 2D plane like most fighting games are in this style. Each fighter has its own stage with a unique environment that suits that character. It seems like the best strategy though is to still just spam the same attack over and over again, at least when you're fighting the computer opponents. If you fight your way through the arcade mode, you'll eventually end up against a mysterious fighter simply named Boss. Very creative. Let's hope our methods of spamming nut punches work on him too. So far, so good. Nothing can stand in the way of Santa's nutcracker, and he's down. Let's see what we get. A credit screen. What a terrible reward for beating the game. But if you buy this game, you're here for the multiplayer, so bust another controller out with a buddy and risk blaspheming together. There's definitely very little balance here, like Freya seems unhittable if she just keeps crouching and kicking, but I'll admit, it's kind of fun to mindlessly bash your friends around. Not like Super Smash Bros. Fun, but still enjoyable. Okay, to end this off, let's have the revenge grudge match of the century! It's time for a rematch! Santa vs. Jesus Part 2! This time, it's personal. Jesus is starting off strong with a series of cross punches to Santa's gut, but Santa punches him away with the candy cane from his sack. They both trade some heavy blows. What's this? Jesus called in help from some holy powers! How's Santa gonna react to this? Oh my, Santa seems to be getting the Christmas spirit pulled out from him! Oh, but Santa strikes back with a thoughtful gift and selfie before knocking Jesus away with a belly blast! Jesus tries a rapture uppercut, but it just misses Santa. That might cost him. Oh no! Santa called in his reindeer for backup! Is that even legal? Look at those blocks! Jesus is having a hard time breaking Santa's defense. Oh, and a chimney surprise! Not a creature will be stirring after this wallop! Jesus isn't done yet! He comes back with a mighty barrage of nut punches to Santa! How do you like those nutcrackers? What's this? Jesus healed himself? Santa's definitely in trouble now. He's just trying to keep some distance so the beating stops. But it's too late! Jesus wins! And this proves Jesus is the reason for the season. Whew. So at the end of the day, it's just a silly fighting game, and there's nothing really special to go on here. It might be fun the first few rounds, but after playing it for a while, you might get bored of it pretty fast. And that seems to be what critics thought too, giving this a 36 on Metacritic. But what do you think? Do you think Fight of God should be on the naughty list for Switch games? Let me know in the comments. Day 10 of the Nintendo Switch Advent calendar. Who keeps fixing this thing? I gotta change my locks. Super Tennis? At least it's gonna be super, right? Super Tennis looks like a throwback to old 16-bit sports games. But at the end of the day, it's still tennis, so I'm not expecting much. Let's start it up and see what we're in for. First off, we get to customize our character by changing our clothes. Should we pick the red pixelated shirt or the green one? Apparently there are a bunch of different costumes you can unlock later, and some that look pretty decent. Let's actually start a game. After a quick explanation of the controls, and oh no, it's all QuickTime events. You don't even have to move the character, you just press the buttons as they show up. It's not hard, and it also doesn't feel very interactive, though the difficulty ramps up a bit as they start throwing more keys at you. At least I unlocked the ninja costume now. Can we talk about this announcer? These are some cheesy kid responses, and he says something every single time. Wonderful forehand! Will be haunting my dreams tonight when I go to sleep. Here, I'm gonna be quiet for a bit and let you experience it firsthand.
It's necessary to be focused all the time. Wonderful forehand. Classy. That's exactly what a good match should look like.
And there's no music either outside of the menu screen. All you hear is that sound of a ball being hit back and forth, and then Chatty Cathy over here. Sometimes he even just repeats the same stuff over and over again. So yeah, you just sort of keep entering the QuickTime events. I don't really mind the way the game looks. It's got a nice retro feel to it, and it runs nice and smoothly. Not that it shouldn't run smooth, there's not a lot going on here. But you know what this feels like? It feels like a Flash game. A free game you play on the browser in class if you found the lesson boring. It looks like we can spend our winnings on more costumes. They definitely spent their development time making lots of costumes. Let's buy Invisible Guy and Hot Dog Dude. What's best is you can combine costumes together and make all sorts of abominations. So let's go with Invisible Christmas Hot Dog Man. So next we go to Dubai, it seems, which apparently Dubai is all purple. There must be some sort of achievement system running in the background as we unlocked Bumblebee Man for hitting 100 perfect strikes. What's kind of annoying though is that when you unlock a new costume, it automatically equips itself. Undoing any customizations we just spent time creating. Rip Invisible Christmas Hot Dog Man. And that's it. There's nothing else to this game. No multiplayer, no other game modes, just enter QuickTime events and collect money to unlock costumes. Wash, rinse, and repeat until you've unlocked everything. To be fair, I did enjoy this for a little while. It's just one of those games where you shut off your brain and just press buttons. But after an hour or so, there's nothing to really come back to and there's no reason to play it, unless you like these kind of games. While it's undeniably tennis, it's far from super. And the critics agree because they gave the score an average of 35 on Metacritic. It's not a terrible experience, but it's just not much of a game. Like I said, you'll probably pick it up once and then drop it after an hour or so. But what do you think? Do you think that you'd find Super Tennis entertaining? Do you have Super Tennis? Let me know in the comments. Day 11 of the stupid Advent calendar. Let's play the 11th stupid game of the stupid calendar and see what we can freaking get! Hold on. JCB Pioneer Mars? That sounds like a brand of stereo equipment. JCB Pioneer Mars seems to be a survival crafting game where you try to survive and build a colony on the hostile environment of Mars. Survival games on Switch, they don't seem to have the best track record. But let's find out how this one holds up. Let's start up a new game. The year is 2067. Your mission, survive and colonize. But not all missions proceed as planned. Okay, so first impressions, the game doesn't look bad. Looks like we'll have to manage oxygen, power, food, and water to survive. A few more things than other survival games, but it does make sense due to the hostile environment. I just hope it doesn't become a chore to keep these stats up. The frame rate, however, is far from up. It's running pretty slow. My guess is 30 frames per second or less. I thought that there was something wrong with the geometry here, but I figured out it was just highlighting where the meteors are going to impact so I can avoid them. Oh, that was a close one. Apparently I have a flashlight I can turn on by clicking the left stick, which is handy, but it doesn't seem to be casting any shadows. I guess we won't want to stress the frame rate any further with those. Clicking the right stick turns on third-person mode. They integrated the survival meters into the suit itself like in Dead Space. Looks like there are weather events to watch out for like tornadoes. You know what, I gotta see what happens. Not much to expect, but my health does go down. I was kinda hoping that you can get flung around. Missed opportunity. Cool, there are vehicles in this game. It kinda looks like space Tonka trucks. Now that I've gotten a wider look at them, the tornado effects are pretty stiff. They definitely look manufactured and not natural. The physics are floaty, but that makes sense since there's less gravity on Mars. I think. Wait, I gotta check. 38% as strong as the Earth. Okay, we've arrived at the nav marker. Let's see what happens next. Ooh, the frame rate is rough. Oh sweet, a gun. Time to blast some Martians. Oh wait, it's a repair gun. I guess that works too. Okay, so I need to repair all the damage at this base. Some chores before I get to the real gameplay. I hope. Use ZL to use precision aiming. Is this doing anything? Oh, it just slows down the rate at which I'm looking. I was expecting a scope or something. So I'll just go around and fix these things. This thing has a big old digging arm on the back. I gotta try this out. I was hoping it was a bit more interactive, but you just sort of point and click and it does the rest. It doesn't seem to be deforming the terrain either, which would have been cool. Now it wants me to salvage some stuff. Wow, the frame rate is low. I can almost count the frames. I also just noticed there's no music. It's kind of boring without any, but I guess it's selling the whole isolated on a distant planet vibe. Since the gravity is low, you jump super far, so platforming like this should be easy. You move pretty slow though, but I can't seem to run. Is there even a run button? Nope. Nothing on the controls. I was hoping for something more from just salvaging mechanics than just transferring inventory. But okay. Do you think there's fall damage? Only one way to find out. Oh, your character just sort of ragdolls. Poor guy. He did just take a bit of damage too, but that was funny. Where did I park my car? There it is. That never gets old. This is my preferred method of getting around now. So far, this is just a fetch quest simulator on Mars. It's selling the salvage tech, it's just transferring inventory as well. Kind of disappointed they didn't do something more fun, which is kind of the theme of this game. Good ideas, bad execution. This one looks like it's underground. Do we get to do more cave diving? The flashlight almost makes it worse in here. They should have made it darker so the flashlight has a purpose. Your NASA tip of the day. Hot lava, no touch. What are you doing down here, silly rover? It's actually the first pop-in I've noticed while playing. I wonder if the constant dust storms have actually been doing a good job of hiding it all. I guess this is how base building is handled. I was hoping for something more interactive, like placing it down in first person and watching it get built. Again, kind of disappointing. There are upgrade trees for the vehicle using a tech tree. Meh. Looks like the weather has cleared up. It's a nice sunny day on Mars now, and the low frame rate has become even more apparent. So it seems that the tutorial is over. We can select missions and choose what we want to do next. We also now have access to the map. And wow, that's a lot bigger than I expected. Nice. Apparently, we can upgrade our suit as well. When you place down a build, you can at least gather the materials and put it in a 3D printer. However, the game doesn't tell you how to get these materials. Though, looking at the map, I see these digging icons scattered around. Let's try one of these. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell me what's in it. I don't know if it has what I want, and I'm just sort of hoping. This is so boring. Just point at the resource pool and press A, and it gathers a small amount. Do that over and over again until your vehicle inventory is full, then trek back. Transferring items is painfully slow since your suit inventory is so small. It should let me transfer over right from the truck into the printer. You know what? I think I'm done with this. This game lacks the quality of life features that need to be in a game like this. I can't picture myself playing this for the amount of time it would take me to accomplish anything. I just don't feel engaged with the gameplay loop. There has to be some way to scan for specific resources, or at least better inventory management. But this game hasn't told me how, and I just can't seem to figure it out. Metacritic reviewers seem to be thinking the same thing, by giving the score a 34. While the concept of being stranded on a planet and trying to build a colony and survive is intriguing, the slow pace of the game combined with the poor performance with the lackluster mechanics just makes this a slog to play. A good idea on paper, but a terrible execution. And for that, just completely boring, Pioneer Mars makes its way on the worst Switch games list. But what do you think? Do you think you'd have what it takes to survive on Mars? Let me know in the comments below. Well, and also let me know if you were disappointed if you got this game and just didn't like it. Day 12 of the Nintendo Switch Bad Event Calendar. What do we have today? FIFA? Oh, are you kidding me? I don't want to play this game. FIFA 23 is the same game every year on the Nintendo Switch. They just changed the roster and it's not even that good. On the 12th day of Christmas, Santa gave to me FIFA 23. I don't want to play this. I'd rather get impaled by a Christmas tree. Seriously, I don't want to play this game. Soccer is one of the most played games in the world, and with the FIFA license, this should be great. FIFA wouldn't just take a pile of money and put their name on something without checking if the quality is good, right? User agreement. Time to sign our life away just so we can play. Before we start a real match, let's take a look at some of the other features, like skill games. So I guess this mode sort of acts like tutorials for people who haven't played a FIFA game before. It makes sense that they would implement it like this, since there's not really a story mode to include a tutorial in. First thing I noticed was the camera is way far back, which allows you to see a lot of the field at once, but it makes everything so small on the Switch. It's kind of hard to see what's going on, and the ball is like 4 pixels big. And so far, the most fun part is making this guy trip. Oh fun, let's play keep away. It's like we're back in school. Sucks to be the yellow guy. Pong sure has come a long way. Oh no, that was so close! I'll never be a real FIFA now. What is this one? I'm pretty sure I've had nightmares that start out like this. Okay, that's enough training. Let's kick things off into career mode. Now we can choose to play as a player or a manager. Since I don't really want to play a business sim, let's play as a player. Warning, you are not signed into the EA server. I guess it just wants to update the teams for me. But I'm not going to risk EA to try to sell me some DLC, so I just won't sign in. Now to recreate myself in game. I'm a little sad they won't let me make a horde monstrosity of a character. All the options are pretty toned down. Why won't EA let me play as Shrek? Okay, now into our first match. Okay, this is kind of neat. The loading screen is a minigame. So apparently I can only control my own player and everyone else is an NPC. I guess this is more realistic, but most of the time I'm just waiting for someone to pass it to me before I can do anything. It seems to be running only 30 frames per second here, which is expected. And the snow textures look pretty poor. The announcers are pretty convincing, and don't seem to be repeating themselves too much like a certain tennis game we recently played. But I guess that's what the big EA bucks get you. I never played through any shooting tutorials, so I was just sort of mashing the A when I got to the goal, and never managed to get any in. Oh no, I got a cramp from running after 5 minutes. This game is just like real life. So now I get to choose between just sitting out the rest of the game or playing as the rest of the team. Let's do that instead. Okay, so now we're locked to the side view that we had in skill training mode, and playing in this view of the game actually performs better as the frame rate seems higher. Though when it cuts to a close-up shot, it seems to drop back down. It's a lot more fun when I'm not locked to playing a single player on the team. It actually feels like I'm playing the game now and not just watching the game. Scored a goal, finally! Another goal! I tripped over the goalie though. Apparently I can press B to celebrate. Yeah, take that enemy team. Oh boy, I unlocked black leather gloves, probably because it's cold playing in the snow. I'm kind of surprised an EA game is letting me unlock things. FIFA is known for having some of the most controversial DLC in gaming ever, with their ultimate team mode relying on essentially loot boxes, hoping to spend more money than you normally would, essentially gambling to try to get the players you want. Even governments around the world have been discussing regulations with this sort of DLC, and it's a large part of FIFA games. The biggest issue with FIFA 23 Legacy Edition is that it's really just FIFA 19 sold to us again, just with updated rosters. In fact, EA has been doing this for years with the Switch version of FIFA. They just keep selling us the game over and over again, and people are still buying it. Anyways, back to the game. It's just more of the same. Run, pass, shoot. This isn't actually my first FIFA game. I had FIFA 13 on the Wii U and FIFA 18 on the PS4. I actually really enjoyed FIFA 13 and was actually looking forward to when I got FIFA 18 5 years later, but was disappointed that I paid full price when it really just felt like the same game I already had. In fact, that's essentially exactly what the Legacy Editions are on Switch. According to EA's own words, these games feature updated rosters, but without any new development or significant enhancements. It's like EA keeps copying their own homework, while other consoles get newer updated games. On Switch, all we have available are these legacy rehashes. At least they're cheaper, as the standard edition on PS5 is $70. You know what? I think it might be more fun playing soccer with FIFA the old-fashioned way.
And a warm welcome on what is a fine day for football. I'm delighted to be able to report. You've got to keep the ball a bit better than that. And there is the goal that gives them a well-merited lead. It had been coming.
So there you have it. FIFA 23. Or should I say FIFA 19 Part 4. I think this game might be fun to play with a few friends if they really like soccer, but at the end of the day, I'm going back to Mario Strikers. And critics share the same sentiment, giving terrible scores to the FIFA games that have come out since FIFA 19, for EA selling us the same game over and over again. But what do you think? Are FIFA games really that bad on the Switch? And let me know in the comments. Day 13 of the Nintendo Switch Badvent calendar. That's the luckiest number, right? Back in 1995. I wasn't even born then. Must have been nice. Back in 1995 is a throwback to original horror games like Resident Evil. How well does this game hold up to today's standards? Let's find out. Throw out the warped code? What is that supposed to mean? Oh, it's the developers. What a terrible name. No offense. Where's all the music? It's really silent. Guess they left that back in 1995 as well. Oh no, tank controls. This is going to take some getting used to. If you're young and don't know what tank controls are, then congratulations. You never had to experience this terrible control scheme. Essentially, tank controls are viewed from the character's perspective, so up on the joypad is always forward for the character regardless of which direction they are facing. Does it sound confusing? Good, because it is. It's pretty rough, but a lot of games use this back in the PS1 era. I'm just gonna walk backwards. It seems easier. Oh sweet, some pills! Remember kids, always pick up pills you find on the ground.
Disclaimer, Russ and Vandy does not condone the use of random pills. If you find pills on the ground, do not pick them up and definitely do not eat them. This has been a public service announcement.
What is that? A giant turd with arms? Luckily, it really sucks. I can just keep walking backwards and he can't catch me. Hopefully they can't open doors. Oh, great, there's another one in here. The tank controls make it difficult to get to the item in the middle while avoiding this turd. The key is on the roof. I just came from there. It's also important to note that the jank in this game is on purpose. It's meant to feel like an old school PS1 game. Hence, the 4:3 aspect ratio and the CTR scan lines, and the loading screen every time you open a door. Sweet, a wrench. Now I can attack. Time to get some revenge, but oh boy, that attack animation is slow. There, take that, you giant turd. Let's get this guy too while we're at it. This is a poop-free zone. 2 down. How did that even get in here? Did it climb through the window? Okay, good, they don't respawn. Now for the locked room. Is the game glitching out or is my character having a stroke? Probably shouldn't eat the pills that I find laying around. Looks like I woke up in a hospital.
Where am I?
Wow, that's some great voice acting. Lots of reading in this one. But I don't really care, so skip. Check the AC. What's up with this game and AC units? Am I supposed to be a repairman? Sorry, Doc, nothing personal. Oh, looks like you're immune to wrenches. You save at these old-timey computers. I hope it's not through dial-up, or this might take forever. Door seems to be broken. I've got a fix for that. I guess this wrench is only useful for bashing turds. Though by the looks of this floor, somebody already did that. A woman's washroom. Should I? No, I shouldn't. Into the men's room. Wait, what just happened? Real funny game. I thought it crashed or something. Toilet pills. Why are there so many pills around? I think I'm in the wrong neighborhood. I'd comment more on the textures and how terrible the resolution is, but it's hard to nag on it when you know it's an intentional art choice. It looks like crap, but on purpose. It isn't time to go there. That's a pretty strong invisible wall, and it takes so long. Okay, let's try this one at a time. The combat really isn't that engaging. Everything is so slow. Just smack, walk backwards, and smack again. Oh no, 2 at once. The controls make this harder than it looks. I'm stuck on the wall here, it's hard to know which way to turn. Fix the AC, now back to the dock. This takes forever as there's no running. Your character walks so slow. You got another task for me? If you ask me to fix another AC, I swear, you're too old to get some documents. I don't think I want you treating me anymore. Fine, I'll get your stupid documents. But I swear, this is the last thing. But first, more pills. There's a lot of backtracking in this game, and it's so slow. I can't even hit this guy. And by the time I swing my wrench, he's moved too far away. I'll just go this way instead. And it's locked. Have it your way, game. What's with all these turd monsters? Was there a sale at Taco Bell? Oh, frick, I forgot this stupid Taco Bell. Crap. This might be difficult on the stairs. Nope, it seems like they can't hit me. I'm struggling with all the controls here to actually move away properly. And I'm dead. It's probably for the best. If the turds didn't kill me, I'm sure the random pills would have. So that was back in 1995. Not that I would know, because I wasn't even born then, but that was the game. Is this what people play for fun? No wonder everyone seems so upset all the time. This game is really hard to judge. Is it a good game? No. But they are trying to recreate an experience from 1995. So I guess the real question is it good for a game in 1995? Well, I don't actually know. But there's a reason that we left all these things behind, so yeah, it sucks. And with a score of only 33 on Metacritic, it seems others thought the same. I won't judge you too hardly, but this isn't likely a game any of you will want to play. 2 weeks of me playing the Nintendo Switch Bad Event Calendar. 2 whole weeks. Let's just get this over with. Hold on. Super Roll and the Lost Burgers. But I have a burger right here. Super Roll and the Lost Burgers is, well, I don't know. This is an odd one. Let's find out. That's quite the opening title. Looks like it's trying to pay homage to the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The music, though, is like the worst example of 8-bit era music ever. There's just so much going on with it. It sounds like it's off tune and the notes are clashing with each other, and it's really repetitive. Immediately I'm seeing Super Mario World with this overworld map. A giant hot dog spaceship appears with the hot dog aliens inside. Anyone else find it weird that they're flying in a giant hot dog? I mean, they're hot dog people. It's like humans flying in a giant human spaceship. I don't know, it's weird. All your burgers belong to us. This is actually a reference to an ancient game called Zero Wing, in which a cutscene had some butchered English. All your base belong to us.
This sort of became a meme and has been referenced in tons of media since. And that was history lesson time. Just a normal llama having a picnic. Nothing to see here. Looks like this one is an endless runner, and there is a I'm a firing my laser meme. I'm a firing my laser! The music again is just terrible. It makes me want to claw my ears off. For some reason the birds have headphones, probably so they don't have to listen to this horrible music. And we end the level like you would in Super Mario 3 for the NES, and then are immediately greeted with the Sonic Stage clear reference right after. So many references, so little time. And right away another Super Mario reference with them going into a pipe. I bet that circle does a whole lot of good being completely submerged like this, and the white squids look like bloopers. At least the stages are short. And now we have a Legend of Zelda reference combined with the Doge meme. Oh. Now we have a skateboard, but the gameplay hasn't changed. Is that Godzilla in the background? Hopefully he'll step on us and end our suffering so we can finally stop listening to this music. The rounded hills in the background are also straight out of Mario. And then we have a minigame with beating up a car like in Street Fighter. Only this time you have to time it with these key presses, but they aren't even in time with the music. I don't mind all of these references, I just wish that there was a little more to the gameplay. But I feel like because of the pop culture references is the only reason I'm actually sticking around to play this. But after you see them once, then it's not even that good. So is it worth me playing to continue to see more pop culture references? I don't know. It's just a shame that they put so much effort into including all these references, but put them in with this sort of low effort gameplay. What's in these burgers that make me shoot a giant laser? I think we need to call the health board. Oh look, we got poop. Great. There's a bit of a satisfying element when you finally beat a level after failing multiple times, and learning from your mistakes. And for the boss fights we have to play Rock, Paper, Scissors, Lizard, Spock, which is a reference to the Big Bang Theory. But when you lose this game of chance, you have to go all the way to the beginning of the level and then try for the boss again. I think the music is actually starting to give me a headache. It's so piercing. It's just so piercing. There's also an endless game mode where you just keep going and see how far you can make it. It's the exact same gameplay though, just one long, randomly generated level. You can at least pick your stage. There's also a 2-player mode, which is just an endless mode, but with a split screen so you can see which one of you makes it further. It's just more of the same though, it's not really that fun. So what do I think of Superola and the Lost Burgers? It's really just a glorified, more original version of the meme run that we saw on Wii U. I just can't imagine anyone playing through this without getting bored really fast and then giving up life. And it seems that's what Metacritic thought as well, with an average score of 31. With one critic review giving it a 0. I guess people just really don't like Superola. But what do you think? Day 15 of the Nintendo Switch Badman calendar. Ark Survival Evolved? More like Ark Survival Ark Survival is a base building survival game where you are randomly dropped on an island and surrounded by dinosaurs and other creatures. Only the strongest will prevail. Do I have what it takes to survive on this island? Let's find out. Man, I love that intro theme. It's so epic. I've actually played this game on more capable consoles, like the PS4, so I kinda know what I'm getting into. Oh, and before we drop on the island, I am playing the 2018 version of this game on Switch, which is the pre-update game. Now I hope to be doing a video in the future on the post-update game, but this video will be focused on the pre-update game because that's the one that sucks the most, and that's why it has such a bad reputation on Switch. So let's just jump into it. We start off with a long loading screen. I can go make a coffee before this loads. Oh man. And even after I load in, the assets take forever to load in. It's actually running a little bit better than I expected, but it doesn't look anything like the Ark I remember. In true survival game fashion, time to punch some trees and pick up some rocks and berries from the beach. It's a bit of a chore to navigate all these menus to accomplish anything. There's always a slight pause between when you hit the menu button and it opens. The game looks so blurry at times. I think the resolution keeps dropping when the system gets stressed. This is called dynamic resolution. So when I'm in a more populated area with dinos and maybe lots of foliage, the resolution will drop so that the Switch doesn't explode. Let's try and kill something. This Dilo should be an easy target. Oh man, those creature textures are rough. Fumbling over the controls after my spear breaks while trying to select a different item. It just goes to show how difficult it is to navigate the menus, especially while under pressure. I'll have to tomahawk it to death, because that's all I have left. That was close. Dying happens pretty often in this game, but that would have been embarrassing. Though if you're new to Ark, you should know that dying is a part of Ark. It's part of the game loop. You'll die many, many times when you first start off.
The whole point of the beginning is to level up and get some engrams. Sometimes the underwater creatures glitch out and end up on land. Looks like this fish decided it wasn't worth living. After playing this game for a bit, I don't blame it. Thanks for the free food though. Island life is lonely. Let's make a friend. This little guy should do. So in order to tame something, you essentially knock it out and shove food up its butt until it loves you. It's an arc thing. I do not want to mess with that thing. Quick, you guys distracted, I'll run away. Rest in peace, my boys. Thanks for distracting him. Nights get dark in this game, and there's no way to skip the night like in Minecraft. Even with a torch, it's a chore to try to do anything. You don't want to accidentally run into something dangerous that you can't see coming. In this game, you can craft bases, but the joysticks make it difficult to place the building blocks where you want them. And having to pop back into the menus after you place each piece to select the next makes it pretty tedious and slow. I did manage to make this tiny hut though. I made a bow during the night, so let's go hunt for some dumb birds. There's a reason these guys went extinct. The draw distance in this game can be pretty rough, very rough. They don't even try to mask most things with a fade, they just pop right in. Every creature in this game essentially has a use. Some of them are more useful than others. For now, this parasaur is a pretty easy tame, and should help me get around by riding it. So time to knock it out and shove berries up its butt, as is tradition. Oh no, that's more dials than I realized. This is bad. Even though smaller enemies might not be tough on their own, a pack of them can wreck you. This last one is tough. Leave my dino alone. Rip parasaur, we hardly knew ya. I cut out a lot of time I spent here, so it might be hard to tell, but there's a severe lack of wildlife around. These beaches should be full of low-level creatures, but they're mostly bare. The Switch version really seems to cut down the number of creatures it spawns in, which makes it not only feel empty, but actually slows down your progression, as it's hard to gather their resources and get XP to level up with nothing to kill. I tamed a new parasaur and decided to cover more ground by making a raft. That draw distance is horrid! You can really notice it when you have a long line of sight, like these trees on the island ahead. It was just bare and now it's lush. It is extremely noticeable. Oh no, that's not good. There goes our raft. Maybe I can make it to that island before something eats me, and I'm dead. Ark is a game I really like, but definitely isn't that well suited for the Switch. It doesn't help that this particular port was considered one of the worst. And this version received very few updates after it released, leaving it an ugly, poor performing mess. The Metacritic scores reflect this by giving the game only a 29. Ark did, however, receive an update recently, which is actually an entirely new port that is supposed to bring it back in line with the other versions of the game and improve performance and visuals. Day 16 of me playing some bad Switch games. Tiny Racer? But I have a burger right here. Tiny Racers looks like it wants to be the new Micro Machines, which were top-down racers stretching all the way back to the NES. Those are some big shoes to fill. Or should I say, tires. Let's see how it stacks up. At first launch, the game immediately opens up to a tutorial. No main menu or anything. Whoa, the controls are really touchy, but it actually looks really good. There's even a depth of field effect in the distance, to give it that shallow depth of field that close-up photography is known for. After that, we get to the main menu, and there's not much here. Just play, multiplayer, and settings. The music, though, sounds like it's straight out of kindergarten classroom, and menus look cheap. This is literally just a PNG on top of a moving background. You can choose your game mode and then select the vehicle. There are only a few to choose from, but they don't tell you what's different about them aside from the look of it. But we gotta go fast, so let's take the Lamborghini. Oops, I accidentally respawned by clicking the wrong button. Guess I forgot the controls from the tutorial already. The game looks great, but that blur, while it looks nice, actually makes it hard to see what's coming up ahead, making it easy to fall off the track and get stuck. Also, the bam and pow cartoon effects when you hit something get old really fast. The physics just feel really weird and take some getting used to. It's kind of hard to explain. The cars feel light, but when they're in the air, the gravity feels super heavy, and they drop really fast. I think they tried to replicate how real remote control cars feel. I'm not sure what happened to the music here. Is there no music, or did it just become so quiet I can't hear it anymore? The cars do have collision, but they still clip through each other far too often. Frame rate is pretty smooth with occasional dips, and the loading times are nice and quick too, getting you right into the next race in just a few seconds. The textures are clean and crisp, especially for a Switch game. It puts a certain red and purple first-party Switch game to shame in my opinion. The shadows have this weird splotchiness to them though, but at least the cars have shadows. The models for the car themselves are nothing to write home about, but it does feel like they are meant to look like toy cars, so it kind of fits. The lighting and shadows throughout are pretty good. It's definitely not one of the worst looking games on Switch. Did I mention it's extremely difficult to get the hang of the physics in this game? It can be quite frustrating.
Some of the vehicles have some pretty big disadvantages. The van is so big and it's really hard to land on its wheels and not flip over on every jump. Definitely gives the smaller cars an advantage in this regard. I don't know why you'd choose this one. The level design is neat though. Even if they're just reusing the same elements over and over again in a new layout, it doesn't end up feeling too stale. But the tracks do have a lot of little annoyances like this invisible wall here, or the spot where I keep getting stuck off track each time. There are occasional glitches like where I clipped through the map here and when I fell out of bounds. Some of the AI can be brutally aggressive too, slamming you into a wall frequently on purpose or nudging you off the track. This game really does punish you for making a mistake, even if it's something outside of your control. It feels kind of unfair. It makes every jump feel like a big risk. I would show you other levels, but this game's AI is so difficult on easy mode that I feel like I need to spend quite a while to grind through these tournaments to actually unlock more levels because it's just so unfair at points. So I never managed to unlock anything new. Whoa, this game has graphics options. That's rare for a Switch title. We need to check this out. Ultra. The frame rate has taken a bit of a hit, but small touches like the lighting and shadows under the cars are actually better. It's just nice to see any customizability in a Switch title at all. It made an already good looking Switch game look better. But personally, I don't think it's worth the trade in frame rate, and it might make the battery drain faster. So we went to try multiplayer, but it defaults the controls to having to split the Joy-Cons. There's no option to use another controller. And if you try, some of the controls on the Pro controller just won't function. Even when you split the Joy-Cons, it wasn't working. Both Joy-Cons ended up controlling just the one car. I've never experienced this before. I tried multiple controller configurations, but I could not get this to work for the life of me. I don't know what it was, but this is a broken mess, and it's impossible to play multiplayer. I don't know if I'm missing something, but it's literally impossible to play it. Have you ever had a game that just didn't make you want to play it anymore? Well, actually, I can think of more than one, but this one does that especially. Metacritic seems to think so, giving Tiny Racer only a 29 average score. While the game looks good graphically, it just doesn't play well, and the multiplayer is completely broken. If this game had a little bit more of love and polish, then it'd be a pretty decent racer. But for now, it'll forever be in the bottom of the eShop bargain bin. Day 17 of playing bad Nintendo Switch games. I've played so many bad games, I haven't even had time to play any games that I actually like. Let's just get this over with. Woodle Tree Adventures Deluxe. What the frick is a Woodle Tree? Woodle Tree Adventures Deluxe is a 3D platformer, just like Mario, except a lot worse. A lot. I don't want to do this, but let's. First off, the graphics just look very simple. Just simple shapes, but it's clean and running at a very smooth frame rate. The animations, however, feel very stale. Like how Woodle just kind of pops up from the ground here. Or when he's turning. It's not a smooth turn. It's like he snaps to certain directions. It's hard to explain. He just snaps. He snaps a lot. Oh nice, we have a house. Well, I think it's a house. This walk animation is very lazy. His feet don't even look like he's touching the ground. Did I just fall up the stairs? What was that? Okay, so here's the first full level. It looks like we can actually fight with this leaf. I guess the objective is to jump around and collect these berries and water drops. It's odd that you seem to move faster when you jump. This one can actually get some air. The music is pretty minimal, but I like it. It's almost atmospheric. The sound effects, however, are pretty bland. They sound like a single note being played on a kid's piano. It's really easy to accidentally clip the camera into geometry too. The camera in general just doesn't feel nice to control. It's a fully 3D world, but for some reason you can't rotate the camera. You can just zoom in and zoom out. And when it's zoomed all the way out, some items just pop out of existence. Woodle himself moves unbearably slow. I find myself jumping all over the place just to move a tiny bit faster. When you die, it sends you back to the beginning of the level, and then you have to slowly work your way back to where you died. The controls themselves are fine, but the slowness and poor animation makes it feel very bland. The level design is okay, but since the graphics are so plain, it's not that interesting to look at. I died again, and now I have to walk myself all the way back. Whoa, what just happened? The camera glitched into the wall again and half of the world disappeared. Definitely not polished. The platforming kind of reminds me of Astro's Playroom, but that's a much better game. Some of the lighting effects can look really good, like these god rays here, but if you pay attention, it's going the opposite way to the shadows on the ground. They just missed a little detail like that. The little wispy particle effects are decent too. I made it to the end of the level, and I'm being super careful here because I don't want to accidentally die, and having to slowly walk my way all the way back up here would suck. Why is Woodle suddenly jumping upside down? Okay, I found a glitch. The more I jump, the more I tilt until I'm fully jumping completely upside down. Level 2. Let's see if this introduces something new. Looks like more platform jumping than before, which I'm actually fine with since I'm jumping all the time to move faster anyways. Oh hey, it didn't start all the way back at the beginning this time. These little huts must be checkpoints? I keep getting stuck on the edge of this ring as it pushes me up, and I can't move myself more towards the center. Where was the playtesting for this? This is just a very generic collection platformer. There's nothing else to do but run around and collect these berries and water drops until you reach the end of the level. Even Balan Wonderworld had some gameplay mechanics and costumes to collect to make the gameplay different and more engaging. I'm sure the budget on this game was a lot lower than Balan Wonderworld, but still, this is just boring. Maybe babies would have fun with this, but this is just a little boring for me. Oh, I got all the way to the end, but I didn't have one of the water drops, so now I need to go all the way back and try and find it. I died again, but it seems to just drop me here instead. Maybe there's just random checkpoints. Okay, I don't want to play this anymore. So long, Woodle. This game just isn't fun. It feels like no one really playtested it and worked out the kinks, or looked at it besides maybe one developer. There are way better ways to spend your money on the eShop for a far better experience. And the critics seem to think so too, giving this game an average score of 28. But what do you think about this game? Do you like games for babies? If so, what's wrong with you? Day 10 of me playing Bad Switch games. I don't like it. Connection haunted? I'd be more upset if I knew what that was. Connection Haunted is a weird little horror game that is like an old school FPS. But is there more to this game than we think? Let's find out. Okay, so it looks like it's throwing me into a lobby. Is this a multiplayer only game? There's no other players, what am I supposed to do? It says 0 out of 3 flags captured. Guess I need to find flags. The resolution looks like it's low on purpose, but I think because it's so low, they're able to add some more advanced graphics features like dynamic lighting on the gun and such. It's all part of the aesthetic, which makes it kind of cool. Unless that's not the point, it just looks bad on the Switch version, in which case this looks horrible. The game struggles to try and reach 60 frames per second, and often faces slowdown. Okay, good, I got a flag. Now I have to capture it. Can I even remember my way back? I am so lost. Did I make a mistake? Is there seriously nothing to do here? Everything looks the same. I have no idea where I am. There's no map, just this little compass thingy, which I didn't even notice for the longest time. There's no music and barely any sound effects. This is just really quiet. Is the game messing with me? I can't be this lost. Finally found my way back. 1 of 3 delivered. Oh no, this is gonna be rough. I just found my way back and now I'm going to get lost again. Is that someone in the hallway? It just keeps getting darker. Now they're gone. It says there are 2 players online now. 2 down, 1 to go. More in this hallway running. Wait, what's this jukebox doing here? What the frig is that? I'm out of bullets! And I'm dead. Or disconnected? Okay, now that I have an idea of what's going on, let's try again. Flag 1, delivered. Flag 2, scary dude, bang bang, and delivered. Now for flag 3 again. This is where things got interesting last time. Not this time, scary dude. I remembered bullets today. Oh crap, jump scare. Looks like it says more players are joining. And there are these weird dot messages at the side like a chat log. Is that Morse code? Now player 2 is asking me who I am. Is this a real person or is the game messing with me? It has to be messing with me. Oh, jeez. Another jump scare. I hate this. I hope it's all done once I deliver this flag. And nothing happened. It says I brought a curse upon myself. I'm so confused. Did I die? I'm literally back at the beginning again. Okay, round 3. 3rd time's a charm. Did I just shoot a baby? I'm so demonetized. Do not shoot babies. Oh crap, he keeps sneaking up on me! The player is asking me to crouch if I understand. Now it wants me to meet them on the map. They must be the white dot, because we made a friend. But we'll never find out because I'm dead. So I decided to do a bit of research on this game after that. It turns out there are multiple endings. I guess depending on what you do, the average game time is pretty short. I didn't get far enough into the game to see any of the endings though. But what do I think? I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's just misunderstood. I think a lot of people, myself included, at the beginning got tricked into thinking that this was an abandoned multiplayer game, but that's what the game wants you to think.
and maybe I'll give it another chance in the future. But for now, let's see what Metacritic gave the game. Only 38 points. I guess that's the risk you take when you try to make something that's out there like this. People just might not understand it or give it enough of a chance. Day 19 of me playing the worst Switch games. Be thankful you don't have to do this with me, because that would just be horrible. Awkward. A party game that needs multiple people. Well, this is going to be awkward. Awkward is a party game that you play with multiple people and answer awkward questions about the other person. Thankfully, I have no friends to play it with, so I'm forced to play it with Santa. Well, this is going to be awkward. All right, Santa, you ready to play?
No?
Well, too bad.
Awkward is a devilishly simple yet deviously wicked card game that originated back in the late 1800s. Like me! It was subsequently banned for over 100 years. Playing Awkward supposedly has the power to transform acquaintances into best friends, but it also has the ability to ruin relationships and start fights, just like you.
Just like
Though wildly popular, of its introduction and renowned for giving unique insights into people's personalities, it was cited as the main cause for a rise in barroom brawls and requests for divorce. Please enjoy responsibly.
Well, let's enjoy it then. Alright, start a game. Gender rules.
General.
Oh, general rules. Alright. Objective. Answer the given question truthfully. Let the other player guess what you've answered. How well do you know each other?
I know you very well. I watch you while you sleep.
Oh yeah, I guess it's an unfair advantage. Santa does watch me while I sleep. Play together as a duo to see how well you know each other.
It's the only option. Just pick the only option.
Alright, we're playing co-op. Do you want to do classic awkward or super awkward?
Do you want this to be monetized?
Why don't we start with classic awkward? How do we know each other? Friends, romantic, or relatives? Alright, Russ, choose your answer. Which fruit would you prefer to snack on? So now I will choose the answer that is true to me. Now Santa, you have to guess what I chose.
You have to give me the controller?
We can't use separate controllers, Santa.
That's
we have to
very
use
awkward.
the same controller. It's so awkward.
Good old sugar plums.
Santa, you know me so well!
I told you. I watch you while you sleep. He eats plums in his sleep. Things
Actually,
other people wouldn't know.
I sleep with plums. So after you actually answer the question, it'll give you the average of what other people answered, which is probably why it needs an internet connection regardless of when you play, so that it can actually, you know,
Connect?
connect. Alright, it's my turn. I pretty much do both of those things right now.
What is this we're doing again? Acting.
Yeah.
Actors make the big bucks, but only by like 10%. It's less than 10%.
Yeah, I think
I don't
it's
want
8%.
to laugh. Are you turned off by movies with long run times? What do you think, Ross?
Well, you have 364 days to do whatever you want.
It's a lot of time.
You're only busy for one day, really, so
Hey,
I'm gonna say
there's a lot of prep work.
I'm gonna say no, you're not. See,
You got one right! Good job!
thanks, Santa. Oh, it's giving us our current matchability. Is it
75%. That's way off.
Round 2. All right, time for me to choose my answer. Would you rather know the date of your own death or how you're going to die?
I know both.
I would say
Well, I already know. It's obvious. Oh,
you're wrong.
this
Santa.
game lies.
Santa, you're wrong.
This game lies. Clearly, it
Yes.
was the other answer.
It had to have been. All right, it's your turn, by the way.
Oh,
you hold.
oh,
You
I guess
keep
so.
the remote.
Okay.
Who could eat more? Who could eat more than all you can eat buffet? Oh, oh my gosh.
How did you know?
This is so stupid.
It's your question.
Okay, I gotta leave.
Russ needs a moment.
So dumb. It's the fact that I play with Santa. Oh gosh.
What would you rather do? Lick Russ's scalp or lick Russ's arm? Where is the neither option?
Wait, that is awkward actually. What?
Take a guess.
Which body part? Which body part would you rather lick? I would assume arm. It's less sensual.
I don't want a mouthful of hair. I already have a mouthful of hair, and it's my own.
Yeah, it's true. Looks like almost 90% of people would prefer to lick their arm.
Nobody likes licking hair.
No, no one likes the scalp. Who would be more fun to go on a date with?
You better answer this right.
Oh.
I'm not single, ladies.
Dang right.
I'm not.
You mean
I
you're
have a
dang
wife. No ring, but that's just a Christmas thing. It goes back on afterward. Don't ask. Is there anyone you work with that you're happy to passionately kiss? I mean, there is Rudolph. Just saying. You literally thought that I would kiss Rudolph?
I thought you would kiss maybe Mrs. Claus.
Oh, I do work with her. I can't take backsies. Sorry, Mrs. Claus. I love you.
Alright, so now we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do the super awkward mode. How awkward can it really be? In an emergency, what would you rather use to wipe your bum?
Only one works.
It's true. Only one does work.
It's a little weird, but I watch you when you poop, too. I see everything.
Oh, so you know.
I see everything.
It's your turn.
Oh, okay. Nobody wants to poop on a baguette.
Turns out 85% of people would also wipe their self with a tortilla.
Very awkward to wipe with a baguette. It's my turn again. If you could wish for one thing, what do you think Santa chose?
Well, this is going on the internet, so I hope there's good
Of
job.
course
Santa.
I would.
Good
I
job.
am the embodiment of good.
Good job, Santa. Holy! 40% of you people are so selfish.
There could be no better gift for Christmas than a cure for cancer.
Has someone ever unfriended you on Facebook who later tried to re-add you as a friend? Facebook? What is this, 2006?
Hey, Santa
Alright.
still use Facebook.
Yes, of course.
Santa's with it. I guess you didn't notice.
Wow. Yeah. Was that you?
Who knows?
So, it's questions like these that are just really not even that funny. It's not funny, it's just kind of like, it's a useless one. It's like, maybe it can strike a conversation, but not between Santa and I.
The only funny thing about Facebook is the metaverse. Dear Santa, do you fear using the Ouija board? What do you think, Russ?
You do. And that was also really cute.
Have you ever met the Christmas spirit? He's a bit of a...
Can't say that.
He's a bit of a Grinch.
Have you ever given a fake number? I don't even know. Or do I?
I know. See?
Good job. Good job, Santa. You know me so well.
That's because you never give out a phone number. Do you believe in soulmates?
I actually don't know this one.
No, Mrs. Claus is my soulmate.
Would you negotiate a higher salary? Would you... Who would negotiate
Basic reading.
a higher salary in exchange for a nude photo shoot? Well, this one's pretty obvious to me.
Only one of them would sell, so...
Ah, man. Ah.
Who is more likely to end up with a restraining order filed against them?
I think we all know this one as well. What? There's no way. You sneak into people's house all night.
Exactly! People like it! I give them presents!
Alright, it's my turn again. Hopefully this is ending soon. Should the punishment for attempted murder be less than the punishment for murder?
This one's kind of awkward. This is in a little bit of a morally gray area. Santa believes in forgiveness.
Oh, I see. Alright, one more question and we should be done.
Which bad habit are you more likely to be guilty of? Snoring or fidgeting in bed?
No, that's ridiculous.
Santa snores so loud that Mrs. Claus has Raycons just for that occasion.
Well, that was awkward. No one really wants to know the answers to these questions. It's supposed to be awkward fun, but it's just awkward. And you can tell with the Metacritic score being 28! It's just not a good game. It's not fun. And I think we just proved that.
Day 20 of me playing bad Switch games. Oh, this is getting absolutely horrible. I only have 4 more days left. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully it's not a train. Decay of logos. I must be a logo because now I want to decay after seeing just the title. Decay of Logos is a third-person action game with tears, I think. Let's find out. Right away, the game looks pretty good. It reminds me of The Last of Us Part 2 with the burning village, but this looks a lot worse. The sprinting also feels good, and the graphics are definitely solid with good particle effects. Next, we're treated to a pre-rendered montage of me befriending this deer, and now we're back into the gameplay. The frame rate is far from steady. It feels like there's a constant micro shutter. The shadows aren't that bad. Even the trees cast shadows on the grass. That's pretty good for the Switch. Better than a certain Nintendo game that's recently released. Looks like my first task is to find berries for Rudolph here. Combat feels a bit clunky, but the attack animations are nice. Oh look, it's Groot. You aren't the Guardian of the Galaxy. It's kinda cool that you can break their shields when attacking, but stamina drains so fast you have to watch out for that. Not sure what I ticked off all the Groots for though. The barrels and crates actually fall apart when you hit them. Overall, it's a very decent looking game. And I fell to my death. Oops. Guess I should have read this note first. There's no music in the game while playing. That's something I've noticed across a lot of these bad Switch games. The music is truly lacking. You can apply modifiers to your weapons using sap like this, very much like Dark Souls. This should do more damage versus these Groots and onions. I never thought I'd say a sentence like that. Apparently you can collect these echo memories. It says there are 37 of them. I wonder if something good happens if I collect them all. Someone just talked to me, but I have no idea where they are. That was close. Fall damage is pretty severe in this game. I get this is supposed to be a Souls-like, but I don't know if I even get a reward from killing any of these guys. I certainly don't seem to be collecting any souls. The combat definitely isn't as satisfying as Dark Souls either, but it's serviceable. This guy dropped a chest piece, so I guess you can collect armor. It automatically equipped it since I didn't have anything else on. The barrel's alive too? Freaky. This barrel's kicking my butt. I leveled up, but I don't get to choose my stats like in Dark Souls. I guess it's just sort of automatic? Oh sweet, a chest. Bracers of bark. It's like I'm armoring myself with dead bodies. That's pretty hardcore. Oh, here's the guy who was talking to me earlier. Looks like a prisoner who wanted me to let him out. I had to backtrack for a key to open his cage. Armor has durability, so you'll need to keep finding replacements to keep your defense up. Found a wooden spear, so I guess there are multiple types of weapons to use. Some of the puzzles are just kind of meh. Look at this door. I need to stand on this platform to open it, but when I get off, it starts closing, and I can't get to the door in time. I tried to run off so I could get to it faster, but then I died from fall damage. I worked my way back and saved the guy. Not sure what I accomplished, but I finally did it at least. I don't know if I'm just too smooth-brained to figure some of this stuff out, but like here with this box and crane. I can use the crane to lift the box to uncover what looks like some treasure, but for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to get to it. So at the end of the day, Decay of Logos is as bad as I expected it to be. It's a decent Souls-like, but it's missing some fundamental mechanics that make Souls games great. The RPG mechanics with choosing your stats to define your character are gone. There doesn't seem to be any sort of dodge button either, which is crucial to Souls-like combat. And the puzzles are just too obtuse, or I'm too dumb to figure them out. There may be a decent game under all of this if you can look past it, but at that point you might as well go play Dark Souls. The first one's on the Nintendo Switch anyways, so if the Switch is your only option and you want to play a Souls-like, go play Dark Souls! And Metacritic seems to have come to the same conclusion with a score of only 27, which I feel is a little harsh. Reviews say pretty much the same thing with some poor performance issues and a mess of mechanics. Day 21 of playing bad Switch games. Looks like I gotta play the... Day 21, I guess. Ultra Off-Road 2019 Alaska. Let's just get this over with. Ultra Off-Road 2019 Alaska is a off-road simulator game. Not so much a racing game, but more of a vehicle exploration game. So let's drive in to the game and test it out. This intro is pretty intense. Listen to those drums. However, the music for the main menu is very twangy. It feels like I'm watching Duck Dynasty. Since we haven't played this game before, let's start with the tutorial. So here we are in the majestic Alaskan wilderness, I guess. It's all really dark. Also, there's no music once you're on the map. There's not even any wildlife ambient noise, just silence and the sound of your diesel engine rattling away. The frame rate doesn't seem that high either, even with not a lot on screen. Oops, I left the game area? Then you have to wait for the whole thing to load back in and start again. Apparently I backed up too far, but there's no way of me knowing that, and it gave me no warning until it happened. We're supposed to collect these barrels and fuel cans to get more gas. They don't seem to be touching the ground though. Must be that new light gasoline I've been hearing about. I keep getting stuck. Guess it's off-roading for you. And the camera just feels odd. Feels like it's inverted. And I'm out of the map again. I can't even tell where out of bounds is, and it takes so long to load back in. Give me some sort of indicator. Food rations? Wait, does this game have survival mechanics? What happens if I starve? I guess I'll just die. The wildlife can feast on my body. Oh wait, there is no wildlife. There's a fair amount of popping too. I don't know if this fog is trying to help with that, or if it's just because it's nighttime. Why did they make the tutorial be at night? Wouldn't it make more sense to do it during the day so that new players can actually see what's happening? I guess I'll just crash into this giant floating wall to continue. What's background theme on the main menu? You'd think it'd change the music or something, right? Nope, it literally just changes which blurry image is in the background on the menu. It's so useless. Let's start a new game. Sasquatch is in here? I need to find him. Floating forest pizza. Tasty. Who left the whole pizza out here in the remote Alaskan wilderness? We have some floating trees here too. Classy. The lighting is weird. There's no shadows, even in the daytime. And we're stuck. Gaming at its finest. Is there a way to get unstuck? Advanced car settings. Holy, that's a lot of options. I don't know enough about cars to start tweaking things like this, but if you're a gearhead, this might be right up your alley. Looks like we're completely stuck, and the only option is to restart. And wait forever again, as it loads back in the same level. Seems inefficient. Who puts this tree in the middle of the path? We just clip through the branches. Some of the trees actually move if you hit them. That's kind of a cool detail. But I wish I could just knock it down, so it's no longer in my way. Out of my way, nature. I'm off-roading here. None of these trees act the same way. This tree doesn't budge at all if I hit it. I actually clipped right through this one. I think there's more trees floating than there is touching the ground. Did nobody QA this? I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. Looks like the damage counter goes up instead of down, which is weird. Normally you'd lose health in a game, but in this one you just gain damage. I guess the basic subtraction was just too difficult for them to code. So far the most amusing thing in this game is just trying to roll yourself down a hill and watching the vehicle flop around. The engine shouldn't be on fire, right? It's completely toast now, so again, I have no option but to restart. Trails are for losers. Let's just try and head straight to the objective. We're supposed to be off-roading, right? Oh, look at those repetitive textures for the hill. So ugly. Guess the Jeep just wanted to take a nap. Oh, good. It's awake again. Yay, I found the cube? Why did they just pick random shapes as the finish line? Why not, an actual finish line? You hit the objective, the game just sort of fades to black, but leaves the UI on, and is completely silent. It's really weird. I thought the game crashed or something, but it just loads you directly into the next level. At least this one added some snow, but it's still pretty ugly. So you can just go from point A to point B in the most convoluted way possible while collecting discarded floor pizza. Yum. I think my insurance is gonna have some words with me after this. I just noticed that when you pick up stuff, it actually shows up on your roof rack. It's actually a pretty nice detail, again with that weird loading screen. And I tipped over and got stuck in like 5 seconds after starting the next level. That's enough of that. Looks like we can change the car that we're driving, but rather than us show 3D models, it just shows a PNG, and you can't even see the color you select represented. What does free ride do? It just is a check mark as opposed to a game mode. And the menu always says new game, even though I've clearly unlocked these levels. So it looks like free ride just gets rid of the gas and everything. This car seems a bit better. It feels like it doesn't get stuck as much. Maybe the other vehicle should be for more advanced players or players who want more difficulty. Feels like it's running better with the free ride mode turned on. Maybe those floating assets were taking too much resources, or it's the fog on this map. Do you like going painfully slow? Do you like hitting every obstacle in your way? Then boy, do I have a game for you. Overall, this is pretty boring, and I didn't even find Sasquatch. Maybe there's someone out there that likes this sort of gameplay, but it's not for me. It's definitely no BeamNG Drive, and I don't think it's worth the $20 price tag it has on it. At the end of the day, you just shouldn't buy this game. There are a lot of better off-road games on the Switch like Mud Runners, which has a much higher score. I really don't know why this game exists. It's a really lazy cash grab for Switch players who just don't know any better. And critics seem to think the same, giving the game only 25 on Metacritic. Is this the sort of game that you would like? Would you eat pizza you randomly found in the wilderness? Let me know in the comments. It's day 22 of me playing bad Switch games. All right, here we just get to see the 22nd game. Bounty Battle. Paper towels. So Bounty Battle is an indie fighting game with a lot of characters from indie games. Games like Guacamelee, Darkest Dungeons, Dead Cells. That sounds pretty good, but will it just end up being a poor Smash clone? Let's find out. The opening intro is nicely animated in a hand-drawn style. Whoa, that was a slow load for the menu. The footage isn't broken. You can see it moving at lower than 1 frame per second. First, let's check out the tutorial. All the loading is rough. They should have just covered it up longer if it's gonna lag that much. Don't you love tutorials that are just text? Show me how to do these things while doing them. I don't want to read a manual first. This should be standard for every tutorial. It's finally letting me move around. Why wasn't it all like this? The animations on the characters don't look that great. There are very few frames of animation on them, and it's kind of underwhelming. The particle effects don't look bad though. Let's try Tournament. Doesn't let you pick characters from here. It gives me an option to use the L and R button, but they do nothing. I wonder if there's like 30 different tournaments, and I need to beat each one of them in order to use the next character. What's with the sound effects? They are far from balanced, and most of them are really quiet to the point I can barely hear them over the music. Some are really loud while the others are really low, and it follows no obvious pattern. Some big attacks like this uppercut are just way too quiet. But this is a fighting game, so let's check out multiplayer. This game has a pretty big roster. I don't know all these characters, but I do recognize some of the games they're from. I don't know if the grids around the edge are spots for unlockable characters. If so, there are a lot of potential characters to choose from, or they just picked a confusing background texture. The names of the games these characters are from are in front of the models and cover them up. It just seems like an odd placement that obscures some of their faces. There's also not that many arena choices as there are characters. It's definitely no Smash Bros. The narrator's voice is just annoying, and I don't even understand what he's saying. It didn't take long for me to find some major issues with this game. It just doesn't feel good to play. Some characters are just terrible. There are very few moves per character, and they don't even feel intuitive or rewarding to pull off. Even if you manage to score a combo, it's just not satisfying. While the art style is great, the animations are just horrendous. There are just so few frames of animation in every attack, and the hitboxes seem all over the place. You can summon these bounties to help fight, which are like assist trophies in Smash, but they just sort of stand around most of the time. And let's talk about balance here for a sec. Some characters just have attacks that can be spammed and lock up your opponent, especially if you're up against a wall. If there's any way to counter this, it sure wasn't obvious. The frame rate is all over the place too, sometimes running pretty smooth, and other times not, depending on the stage. But the low number of animation frames in the characters always makes it feel low. Like every fighting games, you need to be accurate with your timing, and it's just difficult to do that when the frame rate is all over the place. So at the end of the day, avoid this game. It's just not fun to play. Like imagine Super Smash Bros. But without any of the fun or polish. I give credit to them essentially making an indie Smash Bros, but they failed at every step of the way. Terrible low rate animations, poor performance, balance issues, and just a total lack of anything that makes fighting games fun or enjoyable. Just go play Smash, or Fight of Gods. I can't even believe I just said that. But what do critics say? They gave it an average of 23, with the reviewers saying pretty much the same thing. Stay 23. Room in the night sky. But that's what, it's rooming. It's what a Carnoid makes. Room in the night sky. It looks like a game you fly on scooters. Well, let's find out. Hi, I'm a fairy Cochin. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, I guess. Are you the first time to play this game? 20 seconds in and we already got bad grammar. That's a good sign. Let's start with the tutorial. So you're a magical girl who needs to collect stardust by touching big or small stars floating in the night sky. It looks like you can choose different magical bikes, but I only have one available at the moment. Oh man, that geometry is so basic. It looks like an N64 game, only with better shading and resolution. Magical speedometer, magical gas meter, there's even a magical gas station. I wonder if we could buy magical snacks there. The reflection on the bike is pretty good,
and the particle effects on the bird thingy is good as well. But the shadows on the character are kind of wonky. So it looks like we just fly around through these hoops essentially. Glad to see they copied gameplay mechanics from one of the greatest games of all time. There's a cool rumble effect going on, which actually feels like your engine is running. Moving side to side changes which Joy-Con rumbles, and even revving up your engine changes speed at which they vibrate. To be honest, that's the best part of the game so far. I love my HD rumble. The sound effect from the motor is just annoying though. It's just a constant buzz. The game runs at a pretty solid 60 frames per second, which, I mean, it should. There's not much graphically going on. Is this the magical gate? Looks like it. My hands feel weird now that the Joy-Con stopped rumbling. I kind of liked it. Now that we have some Stardust, we can buy another bike. Let's buy this purple number, a magical 90, because 90 is more than 50. Next up is driving school. These are short little stages where you can test out different driving techniques. Whoa, we get to shoot rockets at other magical girls? Get wrecked. She told me off. There could only be one true magical girl, and that's me. I kind of wish that all these stages were merged into one so we didn't have to go through so many menus. Violent vibration settings? Well, that escalated quickly. Let's get on with the main game. Oh wow, the vibration settings weren't lying. This really is violent. This actually shows one of the best implementations of HD Rumble that we've seen from a third-party developer ever, hands down. I would almost recommend this game because of the HD Rumble. It's insane. I don't want to drop these remotes. And this is the second worst Switch game of all things. I just didn't expect it, you know? I just didn't expect it. The physics actually feel pretty good too. Not too floaty, not too stiff. It feels like you actually have momentum. Sure, there's not much to look at with the visuals. The textures are essentially flat colors. And where there are textures, it's pretty simple. But it runs really well and it's surprisingly fun. The buildings do seem to be copy and pasted though. The characters are pretty chatty as well. I like how the other magical girl and I seem to be jabbing back and forth at each other. The music isn't that bad either, but it lacks variety. It just repeats over and over in game. I think there may only be a couple different tracks in total. Magical Naked? Do I have to censor this bike? Wow, this bike is way faster. The field of view widens as you go faster too, which really helps. And you get these zoomy speed lines. That stage finished way quicker with the new bike. I feel like they almost gave you too much money to work with. I didn't feel like I really worked for this bike as I had enough money for almost anything after just a few stages. So that kind of messes with the progression. I think Poisoft, the game developer, might have been onto something here. I think if they just spent a little more time polishing it and making it look nicer, people wouldn't have hated on it so much. I don't think it deserves a spot this high on the list though. I played a lot more games during this challenge that were a lot worse, and this is the second worst? It just doesn't seem right to me. But people seem to really hate on this game, with it only having a 17 average score on Metacritic. And reading the reviews, people just really don't like it, going as far as to call it the worst game on Switch and asking if Reggie was forced to publish it at gunpoint. I get that it's no gem, but after playing it, I feel like it got trashed way too harshly. I think it's probably because this game was officially a launch title on the Switch, so when compared up against Breath of the Wild at the console's launch, it failed to live up to expectations. But what do you think? Would you vroom in the night sky? Do you think it was actually as bad as 17 on Metacritic? Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if you really want your fingers to vibrate from these Joy-Cons. Merry Christmas Eve! Day 24, the last bad Switch game I have to play. After I play this game, I should be back on Santa's nice list. Though today is supposed to be the worst Switch game, so that makes me kind of nervous. Let's see what Santa picked for us today. Waifu Impact. Really, Santa? Okay, hear me out. Waifu Impact is a terrible cash grab of a game, with bikini-clad anime girls running around shooting water guns at each other for no apparent reason. But I believe there's even one worse game than this one, and it has a massive IP tied to it. Sorry, Santa, but if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it proper. Popeye on Nintendo Switch. Yes, Popeye. Everyone's favorite spinach-chugging, deformed forearm sailor. He is on the Nintendo Switch. In a game so bad that the developers didn't want to put their name on the title screen. I used to love Popeye as a kid. My parents always told me if I ate my spinach, I'd have giant arms like Popeye. Can you tell it worked? Heck, I even have this entire case of Popeye candy sticks. Not cigarettes, candy sticks.
Oh. That's good. Oh yeah. But to try to make this game a little bit easier to swallow, I got a delicious Popeye's chicken sandwich. Hello? Wait, what? What do you mean it's not the same Popeye? Well, there goes the sponsorship deal. Oh well, let's start up the game. So when you start up the game, there's no developer logos or anything leading into the title screen, but there's also no music. It's just silence. So let's start a game. Okay, so the objective is to collect hearts that Olive tosses down while avoiding your rival Brutus. First off, the world looks terrible. The terrain model is very low poly and has no texture. It's just a solid color. Same thing with these trees. And the buildings. While they have some texture, it's just pretty poor. And the shadows are pixelated, with Popeye seeming the worst since it's constantly moving. The character animations aren't too bad. Popeye feels like he's running at the right speed for his movements. Brutus looks a little stiff though. Sometimes the animation just breaks, like with Popeye power squatting here while levitating on top of the water. And some of the NPCs have little to no life in them. Like this fisherman who just stands perfectly still out on his boat. And these two seem to be creating some sort of invisible wall you can't pass through. Wait, what? Brutus can though? What's going on with these hitboxes? Also, when Brutus chases you, he seems to walk on top of the grass while you walk through it. Let's talk about the AI. Brutus is supposed to follow you around the island and try to punch you whenever he can, but sometimes he sort of glitches out and does nothing. You can walk right up to him and he doesn't react at all. It's definitely broken. What's with his legs here? You have this punch attack by pressing Y, but it does nothing. And when Brutus does catch you, he one-hit KOs you into the ocean with a really loud abrupt thwack sound effect. But if you can collect a can of spinach and eat it, you turn red and finally can get your revenge on Brutus. This knocks him into the sea and gives you a bit of a break, but when he actually comes back, you're forced to watch a cutscene every time. It's just annoying. It's really weird with the AI breaking. It just happens at random. He's following you 1 second, and then he just sort of stops and gives up. Oh, and if you hit the home button and wait a second and then come back into the game, you die. Nothing hits you. The game just kills you. I thought maybe it was punishing you for pausing, but you can pause it just by pressing the plus button. So that can't be it. Must just be a glitch. Level 2 is pretty much the same, but you're collecting letters that Olive drops from the crow's nest from the pirate ship. Why a pirate ship? Why is Olive up there? Why am I collecting letters? Who knows? This game certainly doesn't explain it. The idea is that the ship is supposed to be a smaller level, making it harder to avoid Brutus. But his AI seems to have glitched out again, and he's just standing there confused. There's a second enemy with this, the vulture. But for now at least, he's not much of an issue. Looks like Brutus.exe has rebooted, but it's too late, and I've finished this level. Level 3 brings you back to an island, where Olive is now on top of a mountain, throwing hearts, yet again. The level drops you on this dock, and oh boy, the frame rate tanks here! The Switch is just struggling here and in other dense areas of the map. One of the odd things is that the second you enter water, the frame rate always plummets. We're talking like almost single digits, and then as soon as you touch the land, it clears up right away. There are these little ramps and buildings that feel like you should be able to jump on, but you can't. And that becomes even worse when you get stuck in a hole like this and can't get out. I guess this is my life now. You're just stuck with no way out aside from quitting out of the game. There's also these bouncing skulls around now. They will always follow you if you get close, but they are easy to avoid. I think the AI glitched out again because halfway through the level, I never saw Brutus again. Level 4 is just level 1 again, but at night. And almost right away, Brutus is broke. I heard this game was supposed to be hard, but with Brutus breaking so often, it's a joke. Level 5 is a copy of level 2, but you guessed it, it's at nighttime. Can we just talk about the music for a second? The music is quite fitting for a Popeye game, but it's just one track, over and over and over again. It gets annoying really quickly, and the loop is broken. Just listen. If you hit Brutus off the ship, just like in the other levels, you have to watch a cutscene from him climbing back in. It's just a waste of time. Level 6 is just a repeat of level 3 again. Oh, but Brutus can now throw bottles at you. They don't even arc, they just travel straight like they have no gravity. I got some spinach and tossed them into the ocean again. And while I was forced to watch his cutscene, enemy AI is still active, and the vulture got me as soon as I came out of it. It actually gave me a bit of a jump scare, and it's unfair. Speaking of jump scares, Brutus just sort of teleports around me when I'm not looking and ends up spooking me. The witch keeps popping up with loud sound effects and throwing bottles at me, which jump scares me even more. There's not a single time that it didn't catch me off guard. Level 7 is another repeat of level 1, but now it's raining. And actually, the rain effect isn't that bad. The raindrops hit the geometry, and there's like little puffs of steam or something. I kinda like it. Oh, but it's only perpetually raining in a circle around Popeye. It's like he has some sort of storm cloud following him around. And what's with some of these lines these letters spell out? Is it okay to be a glow stick? What does that have to do with Popeye? Let's Google this. It looks like it might be some sort of inspirational quote. It's okay to be a glow stick sometimes. You have to break before you can shine. But why is that in Popeye? They wouldn't have even had glow sticks back when this franchise was created. Or this line, face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot. That's a quote from Spider-Man. Did I mention that you only get 3 lives in this game? With no extra lives, no way to save, and no way to continue. So once you get hit 3 times, it's game over and you have to start from level 1 again.
Game over.
Oh, that voice sounded demonic. So I decided to do some research on the past Popeye games. And surprisingly, there were more of them than I thought. But then I found the Popeye game from 1982, and guess what? The similarities are striking. You run around these platforms avoiding Brutus and collecting hearts and letters that Olive throws around. Oh look, even the Vulture and Witch are here too. There are only 3 levels, and 1 is a pirate ship. This game is actually a remake of the 1982 arcade game. Only worse! And apparently the level assets are all from a pre-built Unity asset pack called Polygon Pyro Pack. Only somehow they made it look worse than the demo video. Not only is it a bad game, but it's an asset flip. And a terrible one at that. So there you have it. Popeye for the Nintendo Switch. Which in my opinion, is the worst game on the Nintendo Switch. Especially for having this IP. And this IP is still popular. They were even working on a movie back in 2016, which unfortunately got canceled. But I mean, it looked great and I don't know why it got canceled. But the IP is still strong enough that they still sell candies. They have a whole fast food chain. I know it's not actually Popeye, but still. And they could have made a whole movie, and I'm sure they would have made tons and millions of dollars off of it. But what does Metacritic say? Well, not much. No critic actually wants to play or review this game, but the user reviews are almost entirely 0 scores, aside from one person who is clearly high on something, or is just trolling. But what do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree with the worst Switch games? But first, time for some revenge. I've finally done this stupid bad vent calendar. I played 24 horrible Switch games, the worst Switch games, and I'm done with it. Woodle Tree Adventures, Euro garbage, Bounty Battles, garbage. But I can finally get rid of this calendar using my final technique, and that's fire. And finally got some closure with that stupid calendar. Thank you for watching this 24-day series. If you've watched all 24 videos, thank you for sticking around. And let me know if you did. Thanks so much for watching the 24 worst Nintendo Switch games. If you liked it, let me know in the comments. If it wasn't your cup of tea, then you're probably not seeing this. If you'd like to give me a gift for Christmas, then please check out my YouTube memberships or Patreon. And also, if you want to give yourself a gift for Christmas, you can check out my merch, which I don't really talk about that much, but hey, you know what? I'm pretty much wearing it in every video I do. So please consider checking that out if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching my channel this year. I hope to see you in the next one. See you later.